History is a funny thing. You might think it's about the past, but really, it's about the here and now, unfolding before our eyes. And what better place to appreciate it than Philadelphia?
Back it goes! Leadoff home run!
Two teams, tough, talented, and evenly matched. Both believing that fate is on their side.
Gene Segura delivers! Juan Soto has his moment!
Once again, meet with destiny on the line. In this perfect setting, history is about to happen again.
Roller coaster night continues! He's at the top of the mountain right now.
Game 4 of the National League Championship Series starts now on Fox.
Oh, you can feel the energy as we're moments away from the first pitch. Game 4 of the NLCS on a gorgeous night from Philadelphia. Rhys Hoskins and the Phillies up 2-1 on the Pods. Looking to take a big 3-1 edge here tonight at home. But Manny Machado says not so fast, because when he hits, the Padres win in this postseason. And San Diego looking to even it up at 2 games apiece. Meanwhile, the Phillies will go with Bailey Falter, his postseason debut. The lefty will get the start tonight. We'll see how long he can go and what he can do for Rob Thompson and company. As we welcome you back to the show, taking up the first pitch coming your way in just a few moments. Boy, the electricity in the air, the energy. Ryan Howard just threw out the first pitch.
My dog.
Good night here in Philly. And Big Papi putting his money on the line again. The Fox Bet Super 6 app. Free to play.
Come and get it.
Scan the QR code right now. Download the app. Answer 6 questions. You can win $10,000 of Big Papi's money. One of the questions, simple, Frank. Who's going to win game number 4?
I was going to look crazy there, stretching out with a big night of scoring. But, you know, I look at things right now. I think every team's going to empty the cupboard. A lot of relief pitchers. I'm still going to go 4-2 Phillies.
4-2 Phillies.
What do you got?
Not so fast. Not so fast. I have this thing going back to San Diego. I have the Padres 3 home runs tonight, answering the call. Padres 6-5.
Oh, Papi, what do you have?
Man, I got to keep it real, Philadelphia, with the real tub. One of my idols growing up. Check it out.
AI in the house.
AI in the house. You already know, baby. Picking the Sixers. Come on.
Let's go to the booth. Joe Davis and John Smoltz have the call.
I don't care. Just come and get my money.
All right, boys, it's rocking again at the bank for Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. The Padres and the Phillies. The Phillies 2 wins away from the World Series. Welcome inside with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. I'm Joe Davis. The conversation around the Padres is one that we've had before. They're down in the series. The offense didn't do much last night. But anytime we've had that conversation about them, John, they have had an answer in the next game.
They're resilient, and they've showed it in the postseason. It's uncharacteristic the way they go about it, but when they lose, they don't lose 2 in a row. And their offense steps up. Their starters are good. There's the numbers, 3-0 when they after a loss. The runs go up. A lot of it has to do with Manny Machado and Soto. They carry the burden, but when they lose, something clicks for San Diego. That's going to be the formula. If it happens tonight, they are guaranteed to go back to San Diego.
And there are the numbers for Machado in this postseason. The wins versus the losses. 0 for 4 last night. 1 for 16 in the postseason in the losses. The Phillies, meanwhile, have continued to ride the wave of this incredible environment in their first postseason trip in 11 years. They've played 3 games here. They've won them all, and they've scored 21 runs in those 3.
Well, something's got to give, right? Each team has something special. For the Phillies, they love playing at home. They hit, they score, and the electricity here is just absolutely, the momentum's unbelievable, and there's the numbers. So for Philadelphia, it's going to be uncharacteristic as far as there's going to be a lot of pitchers in tonight's game, and it's going to be the offense that has to carry them if they want to make sure they're up 2 games going into tomorrow.
They're really dueling bullpen games between these 2 teams. And the Phillies offense last night ignited by that man, Kyle Schwarber, his 2nd home run in his last 5 games. What a way to spend a Saturday night here in Philadelphia. It's Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. The Padres, the Phillies, coming up next on Fox.
If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of a big deal around here. Well done is better than well said. The Phillies did more than well done last night. You could not find a story this exciting even in my newspaper.
Phillies take Game 3.
But look before, or you'll find yourself behind. Can the Friars even it up? Or do the fighting Phillies get one step closer to declaring the National League their own? In pursuit of life, liberty, and the pennant. It's Game 4 of the NLCS.
Wow, Michael Buffer last night, Ben Franklin himself tonight, ready for Game 4 of the National League Championship Series on Fox, presented by Loan Depot. A matchup of bullpens in this fourth game, and for the plan on the Padres side, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, if there was a silver lining for the Padres last night, it's that they stayed away from their best relievers. Their goal tonight, get a lead, get 3 innings out of Mike Clevenger, and possibly use Sean Manaea as a bridge to the middle innings. In their perfect world, their top relievers, Luis Garcia, Nick Martinez, Robert Suarez, and Josh Hader, will cover the final 4 to 5 innings, ensuring that the series returns to San Diego. Now, over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. The Phillies have held Manny Machado in check by throwing him a ton of fastballs, 73%. Now, their starter tonight, Bailey Falter, doesn't throw hard, about 91. But with the longest stride in baseball, it plays like a tricky 93. After that, the Phillies want power arms on Machado. His last hit on a pitch 96 or above was back on September the 9th. Joe.
All right, Tom, and the rest of the lineup around him tonight would look like this. It's Jurickson Profar at the top, and then Juan Soto. Soto and Machado combined 5 for 24 in this series. Josh Bell bats cleanup. He's got great numbers against the Phillies starter Bailey Falter. Cronenworth out of the 5 spot, then Brandon Drury, back-to-back multi-hit games for him. And it's Kim Grisham and Nola rounding out Bob Melvin's order. Well, speaking of Bailey Falter, our pitcher profile is sponsored by Google Pixel. The 25-year-old is in his second season, back and forth between AAA and the majors. This most recent call-up came when Zach Wheeler went on the injured list. He gave up 6 runs in 1 start, but he had a sub-2 ERA over the other 8 starts down the stretch. Today he makes his postseason debut.
It's all going to be about the nerves and time off. Does that bother him? 16 days or so last time he threw. And I think against this lineup, if this was a regular season start, he'd pound the strike zone, and this team very patient, the San Diego Padres. If I'm the San Diego Padres facing this young player and knowing that you're only going to get 1 chance, you better score early because it's going to be a bullpen game. So can he throw enough strikes, which he lives on the edge? Fastball pretty straight. Curveball's gotten better. It's going to be the cat and mouse game for about 2.5 innings.
Padres yet to lose back-to-back games in this postseason, trying to even this series at 2 games apiece. The Phillies, the last team in the field, 2 wins from the World Series. Off we go in Game 4 with a fastball right to the edge. Strike 1 on Profar.
Well, with that long stride, this fastball does play a little bit more than his velocity, but it is pretty straight. So therefore, he has to stay away from the middle of the zone, and he has to pitch to the corners.
Falter's 0-1. Profar takes strike 2 from the outside corner to the inside. Jurickson Profar 1 for 4 in last night's game. That controversial check swing called strike 3 in the 9th inning. And that 4-2 Phillies win. On an 0-2 from Falter, Profar pops it foul.
And that's the pitch he can't afford to make. He likes to pitch up, and he's good up in the zone, but he cannot miss down. And that's the small window of success. He's trying to go up and pulls it actually right down the middle. And Profar on an 0-2 pitch, you should not see that much of the plate.
He'll get another 0-2 pitch here, coming back inside. Yeah, that's a breaking pitch, which he's thrown more and more as this season has gone on. And in this latest call-up, the league's hitting just 139 against his breaking stuff. 5th-round draft pick in 2015 at a high school in California. Reached the majors last year in the bullpen. Let's go of a 1-2. Another breaker, and it's fouled off.
See, that breaking ball rolled, and you would see in the time off, you're going to feel stronger, and you wonder if the touch pitches are going to have the finesse. That one right there didn't have the late depth, and that's the difference between in rhythm every 5 days and having some time off. He knows he's probably only got 3 innings to make the best quality pitches he can against this lineup.
Another 1-2. And back up with a fastball. Got a pop-up. Gene Segura. 1 away in this first inning. You talk about Bailey Falter liking to go to the top of the strike zone. He's got a pitcher-friendly home plate umpire in Adam Hammery, who calls a lot of strikes up. A 6-man crew.
Well, we've documented this book on Soto. Haven't seen him on first at bats swing too often on the first pitch. But again, he works the pitcher, hoping to see this pitcher second and third. He might only see this pitcher twice. He'll be the last one to see him twice in a perfect world. So see if he kind of gets out of his game plan early against Falter.
He goes after the first pitch, and a routine bouncing ball to Rhys Hoskins. 2 up and 2 down for Falter. In a lot of ways, bullpen games can be extra difficult on hitters for that reason. I mean, they're facing a new arm every time they come up.
Yeah, and, you know, again, whoever faces the most batters in this game should have the advantage, meaning that means their pitcher exceeded what the goal for this night is. And the goal really is 11 max batters, in theory, for Falter, and then turn it over to Syndergaard. This is going to be the battle of the hair tonight.
And it may be like 4 dudes with a lot of hair.
Yeah, you got Clevenger, you got Falter, you got Syndergaard, and you got Hader.
Sean Manaea would make it 5 if we see him. It's a lot of hair, John.
It's a lot of hair. You know me, I can speak
big hair.
A lot of hair.
Machado with the bases empty and 2 gone. Swings at the first pitch, lofts one to left field. Kyle Schwarber turns around, watches it go. Manny Machado attacks the first pitch and puts the Padres in front. For so much of this season, he's put the Padres on his back. In the losses in the postseason, 1 for 16. When he's hit, they've won.
And aggressive early was he, and didn't miss it. And you see the 100 miles an hour off the bat. Fastball pretty much right there. There's not much movement to his fastball, so if he doesn't get it in the perfect spot, the hitters have a chance to be successful early. He knew it. Schwarber knew it, even though he deked us. Looked like he was going to catch that fly ball.
Yeah. So Machado with his 2nd home run of this series, his 4th of the postseason. And it's 1-0 San Diego. First run scored against the Phillies in the first inning this postseason. 1 ball, no strikes on Josh Bell, who is 4 for 5 with 2 home runs of his own against Bailey Falter. On a 1-0 pitch. Takes a swing. So that is how Bell finds himself number 1 in the lineup, number 2 in the cleanup spot. Getting a quick look at Falter. On this 1-1, Bell cracks his bat, rolled to left side, but it was off his foot. And it's 1-2. And you knew one of those. No promising start for the Padres. They've gone up and down through this postseason offensively. Shutout in the first game of this series, only to respond with 8 runs in game 2 for getting just 2 last night. And you saw Juan Soto there saying to Manny Machado that fastball is just kind of straight.
Yeah. Well, and I thought this game plan would be pretty simple for the Padres. Take the crowd out of it early. Get on the fastball as early as possible, because you won't see it. You know, most of these hitters aren't going to see it again. And they certainly did that with 2 outs.
And they've got to be saying, too, looking tomorrow and seeing Wheeler coming. Game 6, Nola. It's got to happen now.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've responded. That's been their kind of MO this postseason.
On a 2-2 pitch, Josh Bell fouls it back.
This will be the shortest game that the Padres play as far as get the lead after 4, and you're going to see some heavy arms coming out to try to get them back to San Diego. So the closer it is, the tougher it is on Bob Melvin.
Breaking pitch, ripped on a line, left field, base hit Bell. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Padres. That was a theme for the Phillies last night. And the Padres doing it in the first inning here.
Again, this ball just rolling in the zone. There's no depth to it to fool the hitter. And 2 in a row now, 2 hits for the Padres. Cronenworth, I'm going to be, again, same thing as Soto. Cronenworth's one of those guys, takes more pitches than just about everybody, and he's going to have to find a way to change his approach because it's not going to be facing this guy again. So see if he's aggressive early.
Soto went after the first pitch. Cronenworth takes a strike. He's hitting .370 over the last 2 rounds after he was 0 for 13 in New York in the wild card round. And a Manny Machado home run. Padres with the early lead against Falter and the Phillies. His 0-1 pitch. Taken low.
See, basically what Cronenworth does in the first pitch, and basically he takes a lot of pitches, but if he was going up there to swing first pitch, he's looking in a coffee can of middle to middle in. He's letting everything away go because there's no value in him trying to attack that pitch. Now, as it gets deeper in the count, those would be pitches he could hit the other way and put in play, especially if they go up with a fastball.
Going away with his 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Falta retired the first 2. Homer for Machado, single for Bell. 1-2 to Cronenworth. Fouls it off.
Well, I can appreciate giving up a home run in your first postseason game.
He made it a couple batters longer than you.
Yeah, I did it to the leadoff hitter. So there's a little bit of difference where I was probably gonna go longer in theory. He knows he's not going to go as long as it takes. So you try to be perfect early, and it shocks your system a little bit. You know, you're like, oh shoot, first game. First batter, in this case, it was the 2 outs, solo home run.
And he'll try to bounce back the same way you did, winning that game. He's not going to get a chance probably to score the win, but the same idea of trying to settle in after the early homer. So 15 minutes before the game, you're in the training room without your jersey on?
I either didn't remember or it wasn't communicated. They changed the time of what I was accustomed to. So I'm sitting on the training room table and the phone rings and the trainer goes, yeah, he's right here. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, game's starting in 15 minutes.
Get out there, kid. Count goes full.
So I'm running down the hallway, buckling my pants, talking to myself like the game will be ready when I say it's ready. Like I'm gonna control the time frame.
Yeah.
12 minutes. I warmed up, got in the field, first batter, boom.
Orlando Merced.
Talk about waking up.
Yeah. Wound up going 6 1/3, just 3 runs. The next start for you, Game 7, complete game shutout. And the Braves for the World Series. Bell will get a head start with his 3-2 pitch, and Cronenworth fouls it off. We'll do it again.
Believe me, I knew what time Game 7 started.
Yeah,
there was going to be no hiccups.
John, the game's not for 5 hours. Why are you in full uniform? Great pitch coming. 22nd pitch of this first inning for Bailey Falter. Again, pitching for the first time in 16 days. And that, for you, with a field guy like him, with a location guy like him, is a bigger concern than a power guy.
Yeah, I would say, because a power guy can kind of, work his way through the strike zone and get away with things. For Falter, he needs his touch and command on both sides of the plate. He does a good job in the regular season pitching on the edges of the strike zone. And you can tell, missing a little bit, which is natural. First start, hadn't been there in 16 days. So he's trying to catch it all real quick.
Another 3-2. He missed. Cronenworth earns the walk. 3 straight 2-out base runners for the Padres.
For the Padres and the Phillies, for that matter, make it as hard as they can on the opposing pitcher, because they're not going to be in there very long. And so typically you work pitches, work counts, make them get it as much. Not tonight. Tonight, the first pitch you see that's hittable, you should be ready to go, and then create stress so that now the bullpen's getting up, and it changes the formula of what each team hopes their starter can do. And right away, you're seeing a reliever is going to get out of an inning. Noah Syndergaard's going to start a clean inning when it's his turn to pitch.
The hope for the Phillies with is that would be the 3rd inning or so, where you get the guy to come in to finish an inning, and then Syndergaard in an ideal world would start the 4th. And they're hoping that it can be similar to their bullpen game in Game 4 of the division series. Syndergaard went 3. 5 relievers finished the game. They had 15 strikeouts and no walks in that game. As well as you can ever expect, a kind of an emergency all-hands-on-deck game to go. Defense for the Phillies will look like this tonight. Schwarber and Castellanos. Like in the Gold Glove finalist Brandon March. Left side of the infield, Bohm and Stott. Segura had an adventure last night, didn't he? A couple great plays along with an error that led to a run. Rhys Hoskins had an error as well. The 2 Phillies errors led to the 2 Padres runs.
Well, one of the best non-fastball hitting guys in their lineup right now, Drury.
He got a fastball. He shot it to right center field. Castellanos won't get there. Brendan Drury comes through. He knocks home 2. And the Padres once again have gotten off of the deck. 1 game after getting shut down. They've got 3 in the first.
Just goes to show you, never stop doing your thing. 2 outs, nobody on. Looks good for the Philadelphia Phillies. 2-out homer. 2-out single, and then a fastball again. Catches too much of the plate, and he goes to the right field side. Almost. Castellanos makes a great play. But this is exactly what the Padres were hoping for. And this is what they got, and now that's going to be it. That's going to be a quick shock to the system start for the young left-hander.
Machado, who started it with a home run, plays third base coach on this double from Brandon Drury. And Bailey Falter's first postseason game lasts less than 1 inning.
Oh, it's a given.
Manny Machado, so often this season, has been the ignition for this offense. His home run with 2 gone started the scoring. They kept on rolling with a single and a walk, and then Brandon Drury continued his good series with a 2-run double, and already into the Phillies bullpen. It's Connor Brogdon pouring in a strike to Ha-Sung Kim. And the plan was for Brogdon to come in and finish an inning, and just didn't plan on having him this early. He's on for the first.
Yeah, you wonder if he'll pitch 1 1/3 if he gets this out, and then maybe a second inning. But it couldn't be a better start for Bob Melvin and how he wants to view this game. He's got a more traditional starter in his possession, but he won't. I don't think he'll even go very long. It may be 3 or 4 innings for Clevenger in a perfect world.
Hoping for a much better outing from him than they got in the division series. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kim. Connor Brogdon pitched in game 2 of this series, had a 1-2-3 inning. Pounded the zone after he struggled early on in this postseason. He's been much better the last couple. His 1-2 to Kim. Into left center field, another 2-out base hit for the Padres, and they've scored 4 runs in the first.
Good.
Another big inning for the Padres. Boy, it truly has been all or nothing for this offense throughout this postseason.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about this pitch selection. I know the changeup's a great pitch for Brogdon, but he threw 2 fastballs and he didn't even flinch, Kim. But he threw a changeup and he enabled him to get the bat to the ball, although be it off the end of the bat. And that changeup right there resulted in the 4 runs, and this crowd is the quietest it has ever been here in the top of the first.
This is the 4th 4-run inning of the postseason for the Padres. Phillies have 3. Rest of the majors have 4. Trent Grisham, the 8th man to bat in the inning. And again, this has all happened with 2 outs. Bailey Falter got profile. He got Soto on the first pitch.
And we have seen it more than I can remember in the postseason. At this level, when you get here, finishing an inning has never been more important. And we saw the Padres do it when Nola was cruising. He had given up those 2 solo home runs, kind of shocked his system. And then when his brother got the hit and the relievers came in, Brad Hand, they just couldn't get that final out in a game that easily could have gone to Philadelphia, flipped the series. And now here we are with the same scenario. San Diego trying to guarantee to get home. They jump a 4 spot right away.
Yeah, they don't wait around this time. They fell in a 4-0 hole in that bounce back game in game 2. Before scoring 8 straight. No balls, 2 strikes on Grisham.
But this is what you do. Loudest crowd in baseball right now in the postseason. I mean, San Diego's probably close to 2 hungriest cities when you think about their teams not having experienced this much. And it's stung them.
Phillies here for the first time since their 3 straight LCS trips, 08 to 2010. Padres for the first time since 1998. Grisham down on strikes. That ends the first inning. But how about this Padres offense? Again, waking up right away. Manny Machado got it started with a home run. 4 consecutive 2-out base runners after that. And 4 in the bank for San Diego in game 4. Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Back here in Philadelphia with the Padres striking a big way in the top of the first inning. 4-0 as the Phillies come to bat for the first time tonight with this lineup. Kyle Schwarber started last night's game with a home run. Then Hoskins and Real Muto. Those 2 guys just 1 hit apiece so far in this series. Bryce Harper out of the cleanup spot. Castellanos and Bowman, and Stott, Segura, and Marsh round things out for Rob Thompson.
Well, it's the same formula for Philadelphia when they're attacking the starting pitching. They have quick thunder at the top, but they're really going to need that 5 and 6 spot. They said it yesterday. It worked out for the Phillies. They've got to get some production out of those right-handers back-to-back after Harper. And you see Clevenger, look, he's going to – you're going to think he's kicking field goals after he throws a pitch. You're going to watch his right leg follow through, but he pretty much gets after it.
A ball of energy, a ball of movement. Mike Clevenger, 31 years old, out of Jacksonville, Florida, who was really hoping he'd get another chance to pitch this postseason after he gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3 and the first game of the division series at Dodger Stadium. He said, my team's really good, so I got another chance, and I'm thankful for it.
Well, he throws strikes. Even if he's rusty, he's had a high percentage of strike throwing. He's going to rely on that curveball slider. He's got his fastball. You can see that he works 2 ways. He got the movement. He can pitch up in the zone, but he prefers to pitch down with his breaking balls, as most do, except for that.
Schwarber goes the other way on an 0-2 pitch. He's going to lead off base hit.
He hung that one, and again, some pitch selections that you think you're going to execute after 2 fastballs that basically went right by Schwarber. That one did not turn the corner and did not go down and stayed up, even though he hit it off the end of the bat. There is nobody on that side of the field.
And it brings up Rhys Hoskins, who finds himself really in the same spot that he was in last weekend, trying to pick himself up off the mat again. Last week, 1 for 19 to open the postseason. He had a defensive play that really led to their loss in Atlanta in the second game. And then he comes back here, and in the first postseason game in this ballpark in 11 years, he has the biggest home run of his career. And it's like, okay, he's back. He's gotten past that. Well, he's 1 for 11 in this series. He struck out all 3 times last night. He had an error last night. And emotionally right now is really feeling like he needs something good to happen.
Inside.
There's no doubt. You know he's feeling it. And you know it's human nature to press. When you, the worst part about sports is sometimes the outcome is evident, right? But it's how the outcome comes that makes you feel like, how did I just do that? One of the easiest plays in the world, and he makes that 99 out of 100 times. You feel a little bit embarrassed, and you want to make up for that as fast as you can.
And everybody slumps, right? But postseason slumps are different. The way that everybody handles postseason slumps different.
No doubt. And it's easier to speed up than it is to slow down. And you know, you tell yourself and you got a game plan, but then everything speeds up in the moment, especially if you've made or you're pressing. That's a hard recipe for success.
On a 2-1. That's painted. 2-2. Yeah, the regular season, you have a bad few games. Just
no biggie.
You know, it's a bad weekend. It's a bad few days of the week. You have a bad few games in the postseason, it can be defining. Leadoff man aboard in front of Hoskins, who waits on a 2-2 from Clevenger. Full count.
Yeah, you can see there, okay, a couple times now he's overthrown a pitch or two. When you're rested and you know you got a short outing, the psychological difference in the postseason is one thing, but when you know you're not going 6 or 7, you're pitching like a reliever, and it's odd because he's a starter and he's been used to pitching deep in the game.
Phillies looking for a quick response. Hoskins hammers the ball. Left center field. Rhys Hoskins. Redemption again. Deja vu for Rhys Hoskins, and it's 4-2 just like that.
Well, you know, every teammate's happier for him than they are for themselves because of what he's been through mentally, and that right there will help. It'll go a long way. Look, yesterday's mistake didn't cost the game, but it's been a kind of an ongoing situation that feels really good right now with that 2-run homer.
JT Realmuto, ball 1 from Clevenger. He's having the wounds open right back up from his division series clunker.
You know, this series, Joe, could be almost defined as expect the unexpected. I mean, these are two teams that nobody thought would get here, and I thought we were going to get a classic one way or another. It might be an ugly classic at times. It might be a 2-0 gem at times. We're going to get every flavor from these two teams. What I think and we thought was going to be a really good series because two teams that are evenly matched.
Unpredictable, never boring. Phillies and the Padres, two teams nobody saw coming at this stage. After the home run, he falls behind Realmuto, 2-0, and comes back home. Ball 3. So much for the Bill Roar that had been created with the offense scoring 4 in the top of the inning.
Well, the backbreaker so far for Clevenger is both of those hits came with 2 strikes, and that can't happen.
4-pitch walk.
Well, when you see this pitch, you see the swing and the timing. This was the classic swing when Hoskins broke into the league, hit so many home runs, it was like this park can't hold him. Well, he's had some up and downs since then and some injuries and hit batsmen and all the things and storylines, but he has stayed pretty even keel that we look at, and that is pretty cool.
before Bryce Harper bats. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
Reese, tough night last night. Big homer just now. How have you stayed on an even keel?
I mean, it's easy here, right? I mean, we got a great group of guys. We got one goal this October, and it's just a win. At the end of the day, if there's a win, everybody's good. And that's just a mentality that this whole team has, and that's outstanding.
What did you guys tell yourselves in the dugout after getting down 4-0?
27 outs still. We hadn't even hit yet. We knew we were going to have to hit a little bit today, but with the crowd playing at home, we knew that we had a long way to go.
Reese, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Joe, back to you.
They're averaging 7 runs a game in this park in the postseason. They've got 2 runs before Mike Clevenger's got an out.
Yeah, and this is a tough situation for Clevenger because his breaking ball is so important. He's going to need it here against an aggressive Harper. He can't afford to pump a fastball in there thinking it's just going to be taken after a 4-pitch walk.
And already Nick Martinez warms. Skipped over there. Drury with a heck of a pick. And this bullpen game, which is already going to be a revolving door coming out of there. Phillies dip into their pen in the first inning. The Padres getting ready to do the same.
Yeah, worst case scenario for both managers. Look, this is not your typical like postseason. Those guys would be out there. They'd still be pitching. They try to get 4 or 5 innings out of them. Not today.
Bryce Harper's been the best hitter in the National League in this postseason. Almost got hit.
And see that pitch he hasn't hit with. He's only thrown a couple pitches with his off speed for strikes, and that's kind of his moneymaker. I know his fastball's good and has late life, but you're trying to miss bats when you got sluggers like Harper at the plate, and you're going to need that pitch to hit.
He's hitting .400 this postseason, John. He's got 4 home runs. He's playing deeper into the postseason than ever. He's 2 wins from the World Series.
That throw over usually comes from the dugout, and what that throw over is doing, not to mention they want to keep JT close. They want to give their reliever more time. This is a stall factor, and you're seeing some throw overs just to give the bullpen some more time in case he can't get some outs here.
MVP chance raining down, and the 2-timer Harper rips a ball to right center field. That'll split the gap and short hop the wall. Punch, counter punch. What a start to this game. 4-3 in the blink of an eye.
Well, the lack of touch and hitting on that breaking ball allowed the Phillies to get fired up. This was moments ago before Harper went to the plate. And now this is his chance to get a fastball center cut, and that's going to be it. This is going to be the shortest outing that I can remember out of 2 starters in a postseason game.
Bailey Falter, 2/3 of an inning. Mike Clevenger faces 4 hitters. They all reach. Chaos in Game 4 in Philadelphia. Bob Melvin not going to wait around. 4-3. Nobody out in the bottom of the first. Wow. Inning alone, the Padres with 4 runs to chase Bailey Falter in the top of the first. Living large, feeling good. But it's 4-3 now. And there's still nobody out in the bottom of the first inning. And Mike Clevenger is finished. It's the 2nd game in postseason history where both starters have been knocked out in the first inning. We've got to go back to the 1932 World Series when Johnny Allen of the Yankees and Guy Bush of the Chicago Cubs were both knocked out in the first.
I couldn't believe that when I was watching that game.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is a whole new ball game, obviously, and you got a very aggressive hitter at the plate who's been working with Kevin Long, trying to stay back. He's getting out in front too much, and this is a tough guy to face if you're out in front because he's got a tremendous changeup, good curveball, and above-average fastball. And I would think it would be pretty easy to not throw a first-pitch fastball to Castellanos right here. Man on second, nobody out.
Martinez, a key piece in this bullpen that's been the Padres' most consistent strength this postseason. Their ERA is below 2. Martinez pitched in both games in San Diego. 3 scoreless innings, struck out 5 over those 3 innings. And it's a good thing both these teams were set up pretty well for this bullpen game, because it's going to be an even longer journey for those bullpens than they had planned. Harper at second, nobody out. Nick Castellanos takes a ball.
And fastball inside. Well, they were hoping, meaning the managers, can I get 9 outs out of my starters? So that's combined 18 they were looking for. They got 10 batters between the 2 of them. I'd say that's well short of what the goal was, and that's why you never know.
One-0, 1-1. So the Padres looking at having to come up with 9 additional outs of coverage. The Phillies 7 additional outs of coverage. In this 4th game, with the Phillies leading 2-1.
You know, the mindset's so interesting depending on who's on the mound, right? You know intuitively what you have to do. If your stud's on the mound, you're like, we just need 2 or 3. But you know you got chaos on a game like today, you know you got to score.
Castellanos swings and misses. That's that change.
I could watch this guy pitch all day. He's just so smooth, and that ball just drops in there off of a kind of like a screwball changeup. You see the rotation, it goes down, never gets there, but then he can change the eye levels with his fastball and curveball combination.
Castellanos, who doubled and scored in yesterday's game, stays alive.
I almost think with a guy like this, you got to think to right field, because if you're thinking to right field, you'll stay on the changeup. You'll fight off the fastball. You'll hit the curveball. But if you're a little bit mechanically out of sorts, you're going to get out in front of everything, and it's going to be hard to stay back. That's what he's working on. Easier said than done. You got a whole season to work that out. You don't want to work that out in the postseason. And that's what Nick's going through right now.
And during the regular season against changeups, Castellanos had the lowest average in the majors. On this 1-2 pitch, got in on him with a fastball, rolled to short. Kim gets it out of the glove just in time. Harper to third.
And that's what should happen if you're waiting and you get the fastball. It'll beat you, but you can put it in play. And in that put-in-play situation, now the tying runs at third, less than 1 out. If you're still trying to drive the ball with 2 strikes, you're going to swing and miss with that pitch.
So it's a productive out for Castellanos. Tying run now 90 feet away. Not often you need a game recap graphic in the first inning, but such are the times here in Game 4. This team's 7 for 11 combined.
Hey, you know what?
What?
We had our first
runner on base home run?
Home run.
Yeah.
Everything was solos until
Rhys Hoskins. That's right. So a little bit of everything in this first inning. Yeah. Alec Bohm to the plate. Bohm went into last night's game 2 for his last 18. He went 2 for 3. Knocked in a run and scored a run.
You see what Martinez tries to do is fastball in speeds the hitter up, right? Ooh, fastball in, I got to be quick. Then normally you follow it up with a changeup, because after you've gone in either 1 or 2 times the changeup away, then you're trying to get out in front and you miss the pitch.
Infield plays in here in the first inning. The 1-0 pitch. Breaking pitch fouled off, 1-1.
And the same process, right? Speed up in, slow you down with the breaking ball or changeup to try and entice a ground ball with the infield in.
And a game that feels like it could be 15-14 at the end of the night. Still managing like every run is precious. Harper's at third, 1 away. Already 3 runs across for the Phillies in this first. Now Bohm moves ahead 2-1.
Well, this infield is really in. I mean, Kim is as short as you can be at shortstop. He's on the grass. And so that all is trying to prevent the run, but that gives your hitter an opportunity for his average to go way up when the infield's this far in. You're relying on your pitcher to jam them and soft contact.
One pitch. Bohm fouls it off the hands. That's to the seats, and it's 2-2.
I know we're not going to see it in this series, but I say it all the time as if it happens more than not, is the indefensible play is the bunt between home. I mean, pitcher's mound and first base. You can't defend it. It's a guaranteed run. Now, in a game like this, you're trying to get as many runs as you can, and the hitters are swinging. But as it plays out, just know that that play cannot be defended.
Martinez looking for a K. It's taken in the dirt, and the count goes full. We saw the Phillies play a little bit of small ball in the division series.
Yeah, there's been some really good execution in this series when teams have scored in punches. They put the ball in play. They haven't hit it super hard. It's almost like they feed off of kind of the emotion of the inning.
We're talking about the Padres and their big innings in this postseason. Phillies right there with them. Best big inning offenses in baseball this October. Tying run at third, one gone first inning. 3-2 pitch. Alec Bohm fouls it down the line.
I'll tell you what, that was a great pitch. There's no chance he could have kept that fair in theory the way he threw it inside. I mean, they go in and the hitter's going to get the barrel out. That's amazing, pull his hands in, but that's where the ball's going to go if you get a chance to hit it.
Alec Bohm, the third pick of the draft 4 years ago. In his third season in the major leagues. The chance to tie this game in the first inning. Another 3-2. Bohm chases. A change in the dirt. Strike three. And a big one for Martinez.
There's a classic case. Sped him up in. Foul ball. So now you think, okay, if he comes back in there, I got to get the barrel going earlier. And he drops this changeup. And again, not recognizing the pitch and the spin. You're forced to swing at it. And a huge strikeout.
That pitch for Nick Martinez was not very good when he first got to the major leagues with the Texas Rangers. Went over to Japan, several years there where he honed all his stuff and put it on display in the Olympics for Team USA last year. Parlayed that into a contract with the Padres, and he's been so valuable, pitching in several different roles for him. Up to stop with two gone. First pitch to the rookie. A little bit. Caught the top of the zone. Bit of a late strike call from Adam Hammery. That is the part of the zone, though, where Hammery will get a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, this is a real good curveball that comes down and catches. That's unhittable, right? That's what I'm saying. It's just a little bit above the zone. But everyone talks about the electronic strike zone someday coming in. If it does, hitters are really going to struggle.
On a strike on Stott.
That 182 average seems like it's about 382 because his hits haven't been many, but they've been big. And nothing would be bigger if he's able to hit something here to tie up the game. Fastballs, he's 1 for 12, but when they've made a mistake on non-fastballs, he's been 3 for 10.
Harper at third, two gone, 1-1 pitch. Fastball's fouled back. Well, here's where the Phillies excelled last night. 2 outs, 2 strikes. 6 of their 9 hits came with 2 outs. 6 of the 9 hits came with 2 strikes. Stott had 1 of them. Nick Martinez came on with Harper at second, nobody out, trying to strand him. Got Castellanos to ground out. He struck out Bohm. His 1-2 to Stott. It's in the dirt.
I like what Stott does with 2 strikes. If you got a big swing, remember we talked about most guys don't change their swing from the first pitch to the 9th pitch. Well, Stott's done a good job of being able to kind of recognize, I'll fight off the fastball, but I'm looking to hit the breaking ball or changeup. And that if you've got a big swing, you're going to swing at that pitch. 8 out of 10 times. If you try to condense and be short and quick, you got a chance to fight those pitches off and get a hit.
On a 2-2 stop. Watches strike 3, and Nick Martinez comes on and saves the day in this first inning. After the first 4 reach against Mike Clevenger, Martinez goes 1-2-3 and Trance Harper at third. 1 inning down. That's it. Rhys Hoskins with a 2-run home run. 7 runs have crossed through 1 inning. Connor Brogdon got the last out of the first inning. He's got strike 1 here to Austin Nola.
You know what's in the trash can right now for me?
How you prep.
All my notes on his 2 starting pitchers.
Well, you probably only had about 3 innings worth anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah, it's true.
a couple note cards.
It happens.
Nola. Nope. Takes a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on the 9-hitter for the Padres, who has caught every inning of this postseason. And there was some discussion, do we give him a day off with potentially 5 games in 5 days? But with last night being a loss, Bob Melvin said, and today being a bullpen game, he loves the idea of this leader of the pitching staff being there to guide him through that. Just behind 1 and 2.
I just can't tell you how hard it is for these guys to be workhorses and this time of the year. I mean, JT is, what, 132 games in the regular season or something like that. He's catching. That's a lot.
More than anybody.
And then to do this in the postseason, you know, every day it's a rough position.
Pop fly, right field, Castellanos. 1 gone in the second inning. Fox Bet Super 6 will give you a chance to win some of Big Papi's money. Right now, you can win 10 grand playing Fox Bet Super 6. Pick up your phone to download the free app. Enter your 6 picks in the NLCS contest. And if all 6 picks are right, you could win big. Back to the top of the order, Jurickson Profar. Popped out his first time against Falter. That's the crazy thing about that first inning is Falter retired the first 2 hitters in pretty short order.
That's exactly right. And that's just, again, I talk to young pitchers and people will ask me, you know, what's the postseason like? What can I expect? Or you got to grind every pitch and don't assume that the first 2 out is going to result in 3 quick outs, because the postseason is so different. Look, everybody pays attention to detail. Hitters don't waste at bats. Nobody gives away anything. That is easier to do in 162 games when you know you're going through a long stretch.
Profar digs it out in the air to right, sends Castellanos back, and he's got
it. And so what you hope to avoid is the out-of-body experiences in the postseason, because every player knows it's different, you know, and you attention to detail, magnified, answering questions. And so you see all spectrums of it, and you see which players, again, have the slower heartbeat and can handle it, and the ones that speed everything up and try to atone or make up for mistakes faster and faster and faster, and usually doesn't work out.
In the case of Juan Soto, the average this postseason down to 225. You were talking earlier, though, he's one of those guys that could be 225, it could be 725, and you wouldn't know it just by looking at him.
No, he's prepared for the moment in every at-bat.
Change.
There are few guys in the league that you can look in day out that go, they just don't waste at bats. They didn't go up there and waste an at bat. He's attention to detail and wanting to be the very best he can every time he steps in the box. There's another guy in Harper. Doesn't give at bats away.
I've heard hitters talk before about the idea of the greatest players, the Sotos, the Harpers, the Trouts. There are guys who are Juan Soto or Mike Trout or Bryce Harper a night or 2 throughout the summer, but what makes these guys is that they do it consistently. Tries to lay off that change, but he went around, and it's 1-2.
That's been a tough pitch for him this year. And his ability to hit the changeup. And it's a good one that Brogdon has.
The 1-2. Same pitch, no budge this time, and it's 2-2.
See, that's the one thing about him. You can't just throw 5 in a row to him. You can't throw 3 in a row to him. He makes the adjustment. He sees it. He does the little Soto shuffle. And when he sees pitches that he thinks, okay, I recognize out of the hands. Look, some guys have the gift. The ball, they can track the ball better with their eyes than the rest. That's what makes them elite.
Another 2-2 coming from Connor Brogdon to Juan Soto. Nope. Tries to lay off and does to work it full. Quite a few check swing asks down there to third over the last 24 hours. Trying to keep the inning going for the home run hitter in the first inning, Manny Machado. On 3-2, Soto lifts the ball to right. Castellanos cuts it off and makes the catch. Order restored by Connor Brogdon, who's retired all 4 that he's faced. Jean Segura starts the second for the Phillies in a 4-3 game. Already 7 runs in this one. Martinez came on, got the 3 outs in the first inning when Clevenger couldn't. Ball 1 on Segura, and our player resume is sponsored by Indeed. If 30 years from now, 50 years from now, somebody asks, hey, what was Jean Segura like as a player? You just put on last night's game and show them and say, this is Jean Segura. You live with the bad, the air, getting picked off, because the good typically outweighs it.
Yeah, and they've loved him here, talking to Rob Thompson. Look, he's unorthodox in a lot of things that he does, but he gets it done. He's like a little bull. He's so strong. And
I mean, it is a little bit of everything last night. He had the air. He had some great defensive plays as well, but this one just dropped it on a flip from Bryson Stott. He had the game-winning hit. With 2 strikes, he went down and got that one. His second game-winning hit of the postseason. Right after that hit, though, he was picked off at the bases. He reaches out and flips this one in the air to right field for Juan Soto. And the first out of the second. It is time for a game break, and for that, we say hello to Matt Vasgersian.
Joe, it looks like John Smoltz is a little closer to tee times in Houston next week. Turns out the Astros had all they needed on Shaz McCormick's second inning homer. A bunch of more Yankee strikeouts and a 5-0 Astros win. 1 win away from a World Series berth. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, Yankees offense shut down again. Yanks are hoping turning the series over to the Bronx, turning it over to Garrett Cole would help them turn the tides, but not the case.
They have been a pitching juggernaut this year, and it has continued into the postseason. I mean, this is the first game that the Astros have played with breathing room.
Yeah. Yeah, they are now 6-0. That's their first win by more than 2 runs. 1-0 on Brandon Marsh. Altuve got his first hit of the postseason. So just about every box is checked now. He was 0 for his first 25 before getting the base hit. Yankees only 3 hits. They're hitting 128 for the series. Brandon Marsh
Outside.
watches a curve miss. 2-1.
This guy has such great touch to be able to throw those kind of secondary pitches with precision. The changeup that just, again, we talk about, and a curveball top to bottom.
Fly to center. Grisham and Soto. Grisham the call on the catch. 2 up and 2 down. And 5 up, 5 down for Martinez. Trying to do the same thing that Connor Brogdon did for the Phillies and settle things in here.
You know, we saw Clevenger didn't have a good night, obviously, and he was always rocking and doing his high leg kick and just a unique motion. Well, the timing of Martinez, watch his feet. It's just subtle, but they're moving back and forth, and it gives him the rhythm that he needs, even though he's out of the stretch. He's always moving them. He's always, he could do that, obviously, with nobody on. It's like he's tap dancing and delivers his pitches. And you know, the timing of pitching is exactly that. And you use your feet, you get over the rubber. It's not, you're not cookie cutting every single delivery as being the same. And he's doing a little tap dance on the mound.
Little dance and 1-0 to Kyle Schwarber. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Schwarber singled on an 0-2 pitch his first time. Came in to score when Hoskins homered 1 batter later. Schwarber started this postseason 0 for 16, dealing with the knee injury that he suffered towards the end of the regular season. That started to feel better, and he has taken off. He's got a .591 on base over his last 6 games. 1-2.
Right now he's thinking, okay, that was dirty. That was, I'm going to try to show myself that no big deal. I'm ready for the next pitch. But a hitter goes, you know, you see a pitch like that and you have that kind of swing going, man, hang that. Can't throw it there. I won't hit it.
And a fastball up, fouls that off. Schwarber at 46 during the regular season, National League home run champ. Leadoff home run last night, his second one of this series. Leader for these Phillies in his first year here, first of a 4-year contract. On a 1-2 from Martinez. Schwarber watches a change miss, and the count evens up.
Each hitter is going to have less time to process. Like he's processing right now. You can see his eyes. He's thinking about counts, situations, you know, tendencies. What am I looking for? What am I trying to do? All that's going to be sped up next year.
With the pitch clock coming. 2-2. Almost hit him. Prowls his way back into the box. Well, his home run last night came in a full count pitch. That's what he waits on here. This time he's down swinging. Another good curve from Nick Martinez, who's got a 1-2-3 second. This postseason, T-Mobile's donating $5,000 to Team Rubicon's hurricane recovery efforts. And when you text relief to 595959, T-Mobile will donate another $5. So far this postseason, 71 home runs hit, $355,000 in donations for hurricane relief. Manny Machado has one of those 71 home runs on the first pitch that he saw his first time up. His 6th in the postseason with the Padres, which is a franchise record. The homers against Bailey Falter. Here he faces Connor Brogdon. He's gone 1 1/3 in relief of Falter. And Brogdon trying to essentially reset the script for the Phillies. They'd hoped Falter could go 3 innings. If Brogdon can get him through 3, then you're kind of back on schedule.
Yeah, that would be huge for Rob Thompson. Then he can kind of settle in for those middle innings. This will be to get out of this inning for Bellotti, and I would think after that, if they need Bellotti, then they would go to Syndergaard and give him the full clean inning that he's used to when he's starting for the most part.
Brogdon only went more than an inning 3 times during the regular season. Most pitches that he threw is 29. He's at 23 here.
You know, Machado has one of the unique batting styles. He's got an open approach. His hands are almost the bat's almost on his shoulder, but then watch his hands. They just kind of, they don't rock back too far, but they don't move too far as he moves into the pitch. Subtle movements, long swing in the zone.
Down on a changeup. 1 gone in this 3rd inning. Moments ago, Tom Verducci with Bob Melvin.
Bob, it's not often you ask your bullpen to pick up 27 outs to win a game. How are you set up to cover this game?
Well, we'll figure it out on the fly. We got some bulk innings coming up here, probably for potentially Manaea, but you know, it breaks my heart to have to take Clev out of that game. He's been busting his butt for us all year, and you know, working through some stuff. Hopefully, he gets another chance.
Great sign from Manny Machado with that swing in the 1st inning.
Yeah, it's not unlike him to come up big in big moments like that. Got us going in the right direction. Hopefully, we can carry that momentum forward.
Thanks so much, Bob.
All right.
1 gone in this 3rd inning. Josh Bell. Ball 1. Bell singled and scored his first time. Started the postseason 3 for 23. He's 5 for his last 7. On a 1-0 from Brogdon. Bell swings and misses. Brogdon's got that changeup working.
Well, that's the 10 to 11 miles an hour difference from a lanky right-hander that can throw a fastball that beats you. And then, again, hitters are trying to get the barrel to the ball quicker when they think it's a fastball, and they just mistime the spin and don't pick up the changeup.
And it cuts it in on him. Pop. And the left side of the infield for Bone. 2 up and 2 down.
You know how they say, we've said this before, like pitch like it's 1-0 when it's actually 7-0. Well, if you could have the offensive approach, like we're down 5, we need to score 4.
Yeah,
it's happened each game for these teams. When they've gotten down, they almost click into like responsive. All right, we got to get it going. We need to get back in this game, and both teams have done it in each game to kind of put us to the point we're at.
Yeah, game 2 of this series, it was the Phillies that got out to a 4-0 lead. Padres scored 8 straight. Other way around early today, Padres with 4 in the top of the 1st. Phillies 3 in the bottom of the 1st. It's a ball on Jake Cronenworth. Well, since Ha-Seong Kim knocked in the 4th of those runs in the 1st inning, Brogdon's retired 6 straight.
I know there's a lot of people that think, you know, when this whole philosophy changed to a guy who starts the game knowing he's only going to go 1 inning, I'm not going to call it the word that everyone else calls it, he starts the game. That philosophy to bridge certain parts of your lineup, again, only works if everybody that comes in afterwards does their part. That's a lot to ask in a game of this magnitude.
Cronenworth pops it up. That is going to reach the seats. Is that the O word you're referring to?
That's the O word. There's no such thing. You start the game. Just happen to be a reliever that starts the game.
O word would be the opener.
Yep.
Sorry, I said it. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jake Cronenworth. The second man out of the bullpen for both these teams. Really good so far. Martinez for the Padres, Brogdon for the Phillies. There's 1-2 to Jake Cronenworth.
What was that stat you were talking about when the pitchers don't go very far or don't get out of the first when you have, it's an under 500 record, right? Those teams don't fare well numbers wise when you don't get depth. When you pitch 6 or 7 innings, we've shown what teams have done. When their starter goes 7 innings, the success rate goes way up, especially with the journey of what you're asking all these pitchers to do with an extra round of playoffs. Unless you're the Houston Astros that have won every game so far and you don't have to push to the limit, these guys don't have that luxury.
Another 1-2. Cronenworth grounds it to first. Hoskins has it. 1-2-3 inning for Connor Brogdon. And Rhys Hoskins crushed a 2-run home run his first time. A lead off the third in a 4-3 game. Rhys Hoskins started the scoring for the Phillies with a 2-run shot in the first inning. Here he is to start the third. 4-3 Padres in front. All the scoring in this game coming in the first. Nick Martinez has come on and retired everybody that he's faced. Strike one on Hoskins, who thought that ball was inside. Realmuto and Harper to follow in this third for the Phils.
Inside.
1 ball, 1 strike. Shot the other way. Soto moves to his left and makes the catch. 1 away in this third inning, and the finalists for the 2022 Hank Aaron Award have been announced, and fans can cast their vote for the top offensive performer in each league at MLB.com/Aaron. Voting ends October 24th.
Yeah, I'm sure the Phillies would like to see Martinez pitch out of the stretch. As we already talked about his tap dancing on the mound for his windup. He's been in rhythm, and both guys have settled down the game. 4-3 after first, and nothing since.
Sean Manaea has started to warm. Somebody who can give him some length as well. He's been a starter for much of the year. 1 away for JT Realmuto. He takes inside ball 1. Realmuto walked and scored his first time. He's gone quiet in this series, just 1 for 11.
Yeah, he's been quiet in the postseason with a runner on or runners on. He just hasn't really mustered much when they've gotten on, so his best chance of success is with nobody on.
Got him right where he wants him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chopped to short. Kim. 2 out. 8 up, 8 down for Nick Martinez. Harper's double in the first inning made it 4-3. He was stranded at third. That double came with nobody out, and Martinez came on to strand him. Yeah, Phillies don't have a base runner since. Chops curve foul.
Fastball up and away right now is the only pitch that we have not seen Harper be able to handle. Small window to get that ball to the top of the zone and away.
Change up, fouled off, 0-2. Bryce Harper looking as locked in as ever.
Yeah, even the outs are tough outs. Even in this situation right here, 0-2, you think huge advantage pitcher, but you better make another quality pitch to get him out, especially in 3 pitches or less.
Martinez doing his dance.
Yeah, a little extra.
Yeah. Because some guys hesitate in the middle of their leg kick. He just dances a little more. Yeah. Keep the music playing. Oh, 2. Well, maybe he's got some good jams going in the pitch count.
Could be.
Just give me some beats. PitchCom, the system implemented this season in baseball where the catchers relay the signs to the pitchers. Got basically a remote that they wear either on their shin guard or on their, in this case, on the shin guard or on their sleeve. And pitcher's got a receiver in his hat that tells him what to throw.
Well, for Martinez, that was his 31st pitch. And what he's been able to get the Phillies to do is expand the zone. So 16 times Phillies have chased out of the zone. You just think about that, right? 42 total pitches, but 16 have ended up being a ball that he's gotten the Phillies to swing at.
Takes 2 to tango, and Bryce is not wanting to.
Well, they missed the opportunity on getting the pitch up and away, missed it wide. And so from 0-2 to 2-2.
Harper serves it in the air to left field. Profar is there. And Nick Martinez, impressive stuff. 9 up, 9 down. Well, 7 runs scored in the first inning. There have not been any base runners over the last 2 innings after that. And for the Padres in this 4th, Drury, Kim, and Grisham coming up against Andrew Bellotti. He replaces Connor Brogdon. Brogdon matches the longest outing of his career. Goes 2 1/3 in relief of Bailey Falter. And it's Bellotti, the next man in. Not Noah Syndergaard, even though it's a clean inning.
Yeah, a little interested to see how the rest of this game is going to be played out for Rob Thompson's team. Of course, you get a formula in the beginning and then throw the sheet away because it didn't work the way you had hoped. And Syndergaard looks relaxed. Doesn't look like he's in a position to pitch anytime soon, but we will see.
Bellotti faced 2 hitters in the San Diego part of the series.
You know, and we talk about it every time he's been in. I mean, he's been getting the job done, but he's been crossfiring some of those pitches that are just a moment away from getting hit a long way. You've got to be able to throw that slider that it turns. And when you throw a little cross that pitch and it backs up in the middle of the zone, you're just asking for a recipe for disaster.
Against a hot hitter here in Drury. 2-run double in the first inning. On an 0-2 pitch. He takes strike 3. That fastball tails to the inside corner. Down to the Padres dugout. Tom Verducci has Nick Martinez.
Well, thanks, Joe. Nick Martinez, last 3 months, you've been coming in the game 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Early wake-up call tonight. First inning, tell me about getting that call and coming into the fire.
You know, just got to get ready. It's the playoffs. You got to be ready when that phone rings. And it was a quick one, but I was able to get my pitches in and step in for Mike right there.
It looked like you could pitch all night. How did you feel out there?
I don't know about all night, but I felt good. We executed our game plan. We felt good with our approach and attacking the zone.
Thanks so much, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Did you notice Smoltz was even doing his sway there as he was getting ready for questions from Tom? Ha-Sung Kim pops up the first pitch. Easy play, Reese Hoskins. 2 up and 2 down. And today's telecast is sponsored by Taco Bell's breakfast. Martinez said that, he was kind of riding the wave of the crowd in San Diego pitching in those games. Normally he'll crush a couple Red Bulls before he comes in. Said he only needed a few sips of Red Bull coming into the games in San Diego at the start of this series. And I would imagine it was similar with the environment in here tonight on the road this time. 2 up, 2 down for Bellotti. Trent Grisham still looking for his first hit of this series. Struck out his first time. He's 0 for 12 with 6 Ks.
Well, we documented again in the beginning of what the strengths of the Padres were versus the strengths of the Phillies. And right now they have that 1-run lead, but the strength of their bullpen is where they have the advantage. Now, how does Philly match that? And we talked about Philly's offense at home. And so they're going to have to muster up a couple more innings against, probably in the next 2 innings. If you're not leading, that's where Bob Melvin's going to be tempted to go to those Thunder guys that he has and finish the game maybe 1 inning at a time. So all these different strategies are going to play out here in the next 2 innings on how and what course they take to finish the game.
On a 1-1 pitch. That's a strike. 1 and 2. You've of course got Josh Hader at the back end of that. He's gone multiple innings before. Robert Suarez is the highest leverage guy in front of him. He can go more than an inning. And I think in a perfect world, it would have been 1 inning for all those top dogs. But with the dominoes starting to fall as quickly as they did, we'll see. Some guys probably going to get stretched tonight. Bellotti's looking for a 1-2-3-4. 2-2 on Grisham. Five straight base runners for the Padres with 2 gone in the first inning. 9 up, 9 down since. On a 2-2, Grisham watches strike 3, and Andrew Bellotti keeps things going for the bullpen with a 1-2-3-4 on 9 pitches. After 3 innings from Nick Martinez, it's Sean Manaea on for the bottom of the 4th. Manaea, starter this season, really struggled though and makes his postseason debut here, getting strike 1 by Nick Castellanos.
He's going to sling fastballs against right-handers, and he's going to throw changeups are going to be the primary 2 pitches, but he's got a 4-pitch mix. And when he's on, he's got a tough angle for which the hitters pick up the ball.
Castellanos into left center field. That's down. Grisham cuts it off, but not soon enough to hold Castellanos away from a leadoff double.
Well, that's huge for the Phillies. These are the 2 spots they got to get something out of the lineup. They did it yesterday with 2 outs. Really helped them get to the win, and already in the second at bat here, Castellanos gets to splits the center fielder and the left fielder for a double, and now Bohm got to at least get him over or drive him in.
Now, Manaea is another one of those guys, John, like we've seen in this series here and there, hadn't pitched in a long time. Last time Sean Manaea pitched, October 4th. They're trying to shake that rust off, trying to protect the 1-run lead as Alec Bohm comes up. And takes a ball.
Well, you know his fastball is going to have good juice to it. It's whether or not the command of it. I mean, he loves to pitch up when he gets the 2 strikes, but he's now in a tough situation here. Of course, I don't know how many innings he's able to eat, but 1-run lead, man on second, nobody out.
Both teams trying to piece this one together. Going to be reaching for the tape. High fastball, cut on and miss, 1-1.
That's the area he gets a lot of swings and misses against.
Sean Manaea is in his 6th full season in the major leagues. Former Oakland A. Acquired in a trade right before opening day this year and went out and spun 7 no-hit innings in his Padres debut 5 days later. ERA was above 5 after that, though. His 1-1 pitch. Bohm with a late swing fouls it off 1-2.
And again, it'll be interesting. You mentioned how long it's been since he's pinched. It'll be interesting to see if he's got the good touch on the changeup. His changeup's a big pitch against right-handers. Throws it a lot for strikes. But with 2 strikes here, I don't know if you go away from that fastball. He's been beating Bohm to the barrel of the bat with fastballs.
Tying run in scoring position. Nobody out in the 4th. Bohm down swinging on that high fastball. Right where Manaea wanted it. 1 away in the 4th.
See, that's a great pitch and a tough at bat for Bohm, because not only did he not get the runner over, he didn't put the ball in play. And leadoff doubles, the percentage of them scoring might be different in today's game, but boy, it was tough to prevent that run from scoring when you do the little things to get that runner in scoring position.
Manaea's been really tough on left-handed hitters, even with his struggles this year, and he's got a strike on one here. It's Bryson Stott, and essentially the Phillies had, the equivalent of a leadoff double in the 1st inning. Harper doubled. There was still nobody out, and they couldn't score him.
That's right. That'd be the 2nd time if they're not able to get Castellanos to touch home plate.
1-1. Stott was at the plate when that 1st inning ended. He had the last try getting Harper in, struck out looking. Bottom of the order for the Phillies last night was key in their 4-2 win. Reached that spot of the order here, and Stott's got a base hit to left. The Phillies have come all the way back, and they've not waited to do so. In the 2nd Stott, he's out. An assist from Profar. But it's 4-4 in the 4th.
Like we said, not a lot of big hits, but not a lot of hits, but a lot of big hits out of Stott. He just goes the other way, and this is a great play by Profar. I mean, you kill a little mini rally for the Phillies with that throw and perfect tag. And we're starting over.
Yeah, back at square one. 4 for the Padres in the top of the 1st, 3 for the Phillies in the bottom of the 1st, and 1 here in the 4th. Jurickson Profar graded out as one of the best left fielders in the National League this year with an outfield assist there. 2 out, bases empty, and Gene Segura.
And that was worth to go for it. It needed a perfect throw with his speed to get him out at 2nd, and that's what it took.
Backdoor for a strike on Segura. Profar had played in 19 games in the outfield before he got to San Diego 2 years ago. He's gone from having never played there to it being a bit of an adventure to being one of the best. Manaea to Segura, 0-1. 0-2. No more look at that throw from Profar.
Well, he gets to the ball in a perfect position, rotates his body, and gets that one hop. I mean, right on the money. Executed it perfectly.
10 outfield assists during the regular season. 2nd among left fielders. Profar lines one that's caught by Cronenworth. Padres defense helping him out in this 4th inning. First 4 to the Padres, next 4 to the Phillies, all tied up at 4 in game 4. And we're back after a word from your local Fox station. Series on Fox is presented by Loan Depot. Top of the 5th inning here at Citizens Bank Park, and the 4th pitcher of the game for the Phillies is Brad Hand. On to face 9-1-2 in the Padres lineup. Austin Nola leads off. The Padres got 4 runs against the Phillies starter Bailey Falter. Brogdon and Bellotti both scoreless relief work. And in the middle innings of this game, still no Noah Syndergaard. Getting close to the point where you can just deploy your top guys. It's unlikely that Seranthony Dominguez is going to be available today. He was going to go out and play catch, and Rob Thompson was going to have a conversation with him, have a conversation with the training staff afterwards. But after he threw 2 innings last night, 35 pitches, he was leaning away from using.
Yeah, and you can understand that for sure.
Alvarado, though, should be good to go. Eflin, good to go.
Now, if Hand doesn't throw enough fastballs for strikes, he's limited to the, though he's got a great breaking ball, but we saw what happened when he wasn't able to land it consistently in that rally that the Padres had. And a costly hit batsman.
He's behind 3-1. That was the 5th inning in game 2. He faced 3 batters, all of them reached, as the Padres took the lead. That 5-run inning. On a 3-1, Nola takes a strike. Come on back.
Yeah, I think Nola's going to look at that and realize that was a ball.
You know, the Padres catcher's taking that information, banking that in his mind. Now, I'm going to want that for my guys. Leads off this 5th. Cracks one up the middle. Segura was over there in the shift, so he's got a long way to go, and he gets there. Well, game 5 is here tomorrow in Philadelphia. Coverage starts at 1:30 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app, and then at 7 Eastern, it's game 4 between the Astros and the Yankees. Astros will be looking for the sweep in the American League Championship Series.
You know, you mentioned catchers are in a tough position when they're hitting, right? They're behind the plate. They know the strike zone, and so they got to watch how much they complain and or expect their pitcher to get. It's much like a pitcher when he was hitting back in the day. That's no longer going to happen. You go to the plate, and you have a chance to kind of quietly make up with the umpire if you don't like what's happening on the mound. You use that political, like, hey, yeah, my bad for yelling at you on the mound. You know, you kind of. That's what catchers have to do every once in a while. They have to watch what they say and be careful how much they argue.
And by the way, have you lost weight? You're looking good.
Hey, you playing any golf these days?
1 ball, 1 strike on Profar. 0 for 2 today. Profar has reached in 9 of the 10 postseason games and played some solid defense. Had that outfield assist last inning. And a 1-1 from Brad Hand. Profar grounds it foul, and it's 1-2. For this Phillies bullpen, which gave him reason to believe as the season went on that it was no longer a massive weakness. Even started to think that maybe it could be a strength. Last 7 games, a 1.50 ERA.
Yeah, it's really been a turn of 2 seasons. The previous, I would say about the first half of the season, it was still like, uh-oh, what are you going to do? How are we going to fix this? They have at the right time.
You look at the Braves bullpen last year. That was not a great bullpen during the regular season. It got better as the year went on, and they were great in October.
Yeah, caught fire, get hot. Literally, you get some hot guys and you ride them at that postseason time, and it works. And when we get to the postseason in general, as a staff of each club and a manager, there are going to be guys you have confidence in and guys you're like, don't know. It's not like the regular season where you can throw them out there.
2-2.
Perfect example would be a game here, game 4, and both clubs didn't have a guy they could kind of depend on for 5 or 6 innings, when if it was the regular season, those guys would have definitely been counted on for 5 or 6 innings.
Neither starter got out of the first inning tonight. Falter and Clevenger. Hands 2-2. Full on Profar. Soto on deck. No, it's back to normal tomorrow in a big way. Yu Darvish, who's gone as deep as anybody on average this season, more than 6 innings per start. Same thing with Zach Wheeler. Head-to-head in Game 5. Rematch of the Game 1. One gone in the 5th. Hands 3-2.
Now, the only difference for the starters tomorrow might be one of those patient days. You know, there's some rain in the forecast potentially. Don't know how it's going to shake out if there's a delay or they play through it. So a little bit more of, you know, grinded out patience. And then when you get out in the mound, you know, you find the best way you can to execute your pitches no matter the weather.
Depends on which app you're looking at, right?
Yeah, sure
totally
does.
different forecasts. Here's the 8th pitch to Profar. It is low, and Profar takes the walk. So he's reaching 10 of the 11 postseason games for the Padres. Well, we've got some Philly natives, some superstars in the house tonight. Rasheed Wallace, great NBA career, is from Philadelphia. Chris Therien, the longtime Flyer, is here with his family. Jay Wright's been at a bunch of the postseason games, enjoying his foray into retirement. Miles Teller, who's from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Padres are their first base runner since they had 5 in a row in that 4-run first inning, and it's in front of Juan Soto.
Yeah, and Mr. Soto and Machado haven't had a bunch of opportunities to hit with base runners, right? That was the theme. If you're facing the Padres, based on what they were doing coming in, staff probably got preached in, make them hit with nobody on, because your chances go up, but your chances go down if there's a lot of traffic for these two guys.
4 games in this series, Soto and Machado have had 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position combined. And the bottom of the order was so good for the Padres over the first 2 rounds. Hasn't been here in the championship series, and it shouldn't be expected to be carrying the offense the way that it did. Soto, who's 0 for 2 today, 2 for 13 in this series. And an 0-1 pitch. Outside. Watches it spin away for ball 1. Well, Grisham and Nola came into this championship series leading the Padres, hitting .381 in the postseason. Those two guys combined 1 for 26. On a 1-1, Soto takes ball 2. Machado on deck. Tie game here in the 5th.
Again, as good of a breaking ball as Hand has, he's not throwing his fastball anywhere close to enough strikes to put the hitter in a real defensive situation. And so the more they see the spin, the more likelihood they're going to get one in the zone.
Ends 2-1. Curve is lifted in the air to right field. Juan Soto with his first bomb of the postseason. There it was, and the Padres are back in front.
Telling you, seen it too many times, and a great hitter like Soto, eventually one's going to be in the zone, and it's a recipe for disaster, and it came back to bite Brad Hand.
Padres 6, Phillies 4. Juan Soto goes deep.
He saw 2 previous to this and a pitch out of the zone with the fastball, so he could sit on this, and he did, and he didn't miss it. I mean, this ball was hit quick. I looked at Castellanos, he didn't really move. Now watch this. That is as smooth as it gets. Unfortunately, the fans here didn't think much of it.
And so the Padres in this series, no runs in the first game. They follow that with an 8-run outburst in game 2. 2 runs last night, and already 6 here in the follow-up performance. Trying to keep it going where they have not lost back-to-back games in the postseason.
And now we're getting in that 5th and 6th inning area that Bob Melvin really wants to have the lead, and then can make some decisions on how he wants to use the pen. Of course, Manaea's in there right now. Nope. But Philadelphia's got another issue right now on Brad Hand being able to throw fastballs for strikes.
Quickly 2-0 on Machado.
Outside.
3-0. The hand who missed the final few weeks of the regular season with an arm problem just has not looked quite right. And there is finally Noah Syndergaard loosening. And who was once an all-star with the Padres. 3 seasons in San Diego. Machado with a 3-0 green light. Skies it in foul ground at first. Hoskins has room. Out number 2.
Wow, that is a big out and an escape there. Machado knows it. 3-0. Typically, you're going to get the pitch to drive on 3-0, and a rare foul out on a 3-0 pitch. You want that pitch right down the middle, and it's outer half. And one of the better pitches by hand, unfortunately for Machado, came on a 3-0 fastball.
So a little gift there for Hand and the Phillies. 2 gone in this 5th inning, and up comes Josh Bell. Padres have retaken the lead on Juan Soto's home run. Machado and Soto both connecting on homers tonight. Josh Bell takes a ball. It's 1-1.
So when Philly comes up, of course, Manaea is going to have 2 left-handers he could potentially face if he gets to Harper. But Schwarber, of course, and Marsh right out of the gate. So tough on lefties.
Yep.
See how the Phillies react.
Strike 2. This game and this series really has been all about reacting, all about responding. Phillies took game 1. Padres took game 2. Phillies in game 3. And the Padres are the lead in game 4. Hand to Bell, 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Bryson stop. That does it for the Padres in the top of the 5th. But Juan Soto hits his first home run since the World Series in 2019 when he crushed one off Justin Verlander. His first one in the postseason as a Padre has San Diego back in front. All right, John, get it delivered to the booth.
Oh my goodness. I survived playing here barely. You know, they made them in the clubhouses.
Oh,
tremendous home field advantage.
Brandon Marsh leads off this inning, takes a strike for the Phillies just because
all
the other
guys
team's
are
full.
crushing. Yeah. They're good.
You know, they track those things. Like, they have stats on cheesesteak consumption in the visiting clubhouse.
Yeah, I heard some numbers that are a little bit crazy to think actually happened.
0-2 on Marsh. Do you have a personal record? Cheesesteaks in a day?
No, I didn't. No. I mean, you would think because I'm a pitcher and once every 4 days, 4 days not pitching, you could eat a lot, but no.
Marsh down quickly. Sean Manaea with a strikeout. All right, here are those records we're referring to. Adrian Sanchez, who played about 100 games in the major leagues, is thinking, man, oh man, I don't know how long I'm going to be up here in the majors. I'm going to get my money's worth.
There's no way. See, I don't buy it.
10.5 cheesesteaks in one day. And Adrian Sanchez is a light hitting utility guy. We're not talking like a big slugger crushing cheesesteaks.
I don't buy it. I mean, that's almost physically impossible. Was it all day? Was it a day-night doubleheader?
I don't have those details for you. Slacking on my prep. Balling on Kyle Schwarber.
And then I saw 25 for a series?
Yeah. Mike Jasperson, Rockies coach. Ball and a strike on Schwarber. Sean Manaea, 3rd pitcher in the game for the Padres. The key one has been Nick Martinez. 3 perfect innings of relief.
Inside.
Manaea came on for the 4th, gave up a double to Castellanos, RBI single to Bryson Stott that tied the game. But the Padres have gotten the lead right back on a Juan Soto homer. On a 2-1, Schwarber got the call there. 3-1.
Boy, Schwarber's looked totally different than the first 16 or so at bats when this postseason started against the Braves.
Shows bunt, takes ball 4. One out base runner for the Phillies, and today's telecast is sponsored by Indeed. We help people get jobs. And by T-Mobile, more 5G bars in more places. It's been a game of runs. 4 for the Padres, 4 for the Phillies, 2 for the Padres. Phillies scoring started on a home run from this guy, Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, and all solo home runs till this game. Now we got 2 2-run homers.
Yeah. Hoskins says he's been doing his best to soak this all in. The environments and the stage that he's been waiting his whole career for. Longest tenured Philly position player in his 6th year here. A very polarizing player. Phillies fans recognize what he's meant as a leader and a face of the organizations through some of these low years. Very streaky though. Really high highs, some really low lows, and we've seen that. Snapshots of that in this postseason. Represents the tying run here in the 5th on a 1-1 from Manaea. He cracks one in the air to left center field, and he's done it again. This game is tied.
Well, there's that swing he's so famous for, and the feeling of, I mean, one can only imagine where he's been to what he's feeling right now. Crowd's letting you know.
A ball on Real Muto. What a release for Rhys Hoskins and for this crowd who've kind of lived this journey together through these years, hoping and wishing the Phillies would get back to the postseason. Riding the wave with Hoskins. He's here in the booze as recently as last night. He's got 2 2-run home runs in this game, and we are knotted again.
Everybody's responding. I mean, these are, I mean, you could not, if you missed the first 5 minutes of this game, this crowd was silent. But then if you saw the next 15 minutes, the crowd went crazy when they scored 3 in the bottom. Watch the swing. Watch how level the bat is. And that's the part of the field that he has dominated this park when he's hit home runs. Perfect timing. Bat to ball. Gone.
That's Syndergaard, and relievers enjoying their view of it. We're getting to know Rhys Hoskins. He's with Kenny again.
Rhys, you just hugged Brad Hand. What did you tell him?
There's more coming, right? Like, whatever happened last inning happened. At some point in this series, we're going to need him to get big outs, and I've been saying it really all playoffs. The moments are coming, and we got to be ready for them.
Rhys, thank you very much.
Well, we're talking about it as he went up there. He's doing his best, even as he rides this wave, to soak it in and peek in the stands, listen to the chants. 2-2 on Real Muto. Much easier said than done, I would think, to soak this all in when you're living it.
No, I mean, until you've been there, done that, you have no idea how overblown he gets both ways when you get to the postseason. You want to be on the great side. There's no better feeling in the world, but then there's no worse feeling in the world because you know it's so magnified.
Luis Garcia warming for the Padres. This relay race to the finish continuing. Three-two. Realmuto's aboard. And another look at Hoskins' second home run of the night. And now the Phillies in search of their first lead of this game. They've got a runner aboard, and they've got Bryce Harper at the plate. Harper drove in around with a double in the first inning. Then he flied to left. Well, this game is turning into a classic. 6-6 in the fifth inning of Game 4. Harper fouls off a first pitch heater. Yeah, that was what he was looking for.
Again, when Harper faces left-handers, this is a tough left-hander here. He's really good middle of the zone, but then where he gets a little bit a hole in the swing is up above the zone, even the top of the strike zone. Can Manaea get it there?
He did, and he got a swing and a miss. Strike two.
Now, can he get it there again? And that's the key, right? With great hitters, you've got to make over and over really good pitches. Now, Harper won't swing at that one again, but he will swing at one out over the plate because it'll look better to him with two strikes. He does cut down his swing a little bit with two strikes, but the one out over the plate still has the ability to swing.
And it's scary, isn't it? Because if you miss by an inch or two down, it's putting it right on a tee.
Well, he can go where Hoskins went as a left-handed hitter off a left-handed pitcher. Really, the times that he'll pull off a lefty is a hanging breaking ball inner half or a ball middle in that just doesn't get to the desired spot.
Harper in an 0-2 hole. Manaea throws. Harper got a high fastball and fouled it off to see another.
Now that has to move a little further off the plate. So he has to get it to his glove side, Manaea's glove side, which is away off the plate, just to change that eyesight of Harper.
Another 0-2. It's a chance that Harper could be Manaea's last hitter. We've got Garcia loosening, and Nick Castellanos, who's on deck, is 4 for 6 with 2 home runs against Manaea. There goes the runner. Harper slashes a base hit to left center. How fast can Realmuto run? He'll hit third and come home. The Phillies take the lead. What a ride in Game 4.
Let's go! And see, this is exactly what I was talking about, a great hitter. This pitch, if I'm not mistaken, is right down the middle. Didn't get up, and he goes with it. Look at the low release. Look at the fastball right there, and he doesn't try to pull it. Harper, one of the best, and showing it when it counts the most.
Second RBI double of the night for the two-time MVP. The Phillies have come from down 4-0. The lead 7-6. Miles Teller loves it. 46,000 strong on the south side of Philly. All loving it with their team 2 wins away from a pennant. What an exhilarating ride this has been. Back and forth game. The Phillies lead for the first time at 7-6 here in the 5th inning. How is this only the 5th inning? We've had enough to feel like a full series.
Oh, it's been, again, it just fits the theme of these two teams. I mean, this has been a battle, and both teams are responding.
Luis Garcia, 4th pitcher in the game for the Padres. Harper's at 2nd for Castellanos. Up the middle, off the bag and into center. Everything coming up, Phillies. They lead 8-6.
Well, they say it's not how hard you hit it. Sometimes it's where you hit it.
Good aim, Nick.
And that you cannot defend. But put it in play. Another hit. Padres have gotten burned by some walks. All of them have scored 3 walks. And they always have a saying that walks will haunt you. And they have this thus far here in this game.
We got so many cool looks. Our wonderful production crew brings us each night. What a shot of that base hit into center for Castellanos. 8-6 Phillies and a strike on Alec Bohm.
Well, Garcia, we didn't get a chance to really ID him because it happened so fast. 98 to 99 mile an hour fastball. He's got a slider and a curveball, and so he has plenty of gas. But he is trying everything he can to calm down this crowd and this inning.
This is game 2 all over again, just flipped around. Phillies led 4-0, lost 8-5. And this one, the Padres led 4-0. They now trail 8-6. The difference? We're only halfway through this game. And already 14 runs between the two teams combined. 7 of those runs came in the first. 6 of those runs have come here in the 5th. Third strikeout of the night for Alec Bohm.
It's amazing the sessions sometimes, right? We've talked about Schwarber with Kevin Long. As we get a look again, just the ball goes off the bag. Just look at this, that Cronenworth's got this pretty easy until it hits the bag.
Whistling by there into center field.
But
there's a throw down to first.
Kevin Long was talking about, and we were talking to Rob Thompson about Nick Castellanos and what they're trying to get him to do and the good sessions that they've had and turning him around. He's got 2 hits tonight. And they happen to be his last 2 at bats, a double and a single. So, you know, hitting coaches get blamed for a lot and way too much in the game when the reality is they're just advocates for what they see and how to get the guy back to his mechanical kind of things that make him tick.
2-0 on Bryson Stott. It was the bottom of the order that had the key hits in last night's game. You saw just a moment ago it's been the top of the order getting the job done for the Phillies tonight. All 8 runs coming from the first 5 guys in the order. Castellanos at first, 2 gone, and a 2-0 to Bryson Stott. Is golf to center field. Grisham's back. Shy of the track, deepest part of the yard. He's got it. And that brings this 5th inning to a close. At this point, if you want to name it, call it the Rhys Hoskins game. There's a lot of things you can call this one. Crazy, gripping, riveting stuff, and still 4 innings to play in game 4. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to keep up with everything baseball. A lot to keep up with in this one. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Padres. They led this game 4-0. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Phillies, who have taken an 8-6 lead. And now we see what we figured we were going to, but earlier in the game, and that is Noah Syndergaard Cronenworth, Drury, and Kim for the Padres here in the 6th. Strike one from Syndergaard, who was the starting pitcher in the bullpen game in the division series. Went 3 innings in that game, gave up a solo shot, and that was it.
Yeah, he's a different pitcher than the previous surgically repaired elbow. He pitches in and out more than he just rears back and throws fastballs by people. So he's got more of a pitcher without that velocity.
That start for him Saturday, John, was his first start in the postseason since 2016, back when he was that guy, when he was overpowering everybody with the hardest fastball in the National League.
Yeah, and now he'll rely on that curveball, kind of slowing the hitter down and then making 94, 95 look as fast as it can.
Still doing it at the age of 30, reinventing himself. Here's a soft bouncer, Segura to get Cronenworth. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal, who's got Bryce Harper.
Bryce, you seem like you're totally locked in right now. How would you describe the way you're feeling at the plate?
Yeah, I think it's just all the guys around me, right? I mean, I think everybody's just ready to go each day no matter what. So we just got to keep going, keep having great at-bats, just see pitches and do the things we can to score runs, help this team win.
You've waited your whole career to play in a series like this. What has the experience been like?
It's been incredible. These fans are unbelievable. I mean, you guys see it each of the last couple nights, and it's just been so much fun. I love this crowd. I love Philadelphia. It's just fun to be able to be part of this team and have this opportunity to play here.
Bryce, thank you.
Cool.
Joe, back to you.
Time flies. Bryce is in his 4th year, that 13-year contract with the Phillies. It's a strike on Brandon Drury. One of the reasons he signed here was he felt like this was a place where he could come win. And over his first 3 years here, they were 191 and 193. There's a lot of pressure on him to carry him. And he did all he could, winning the MVP last year. But they fell short each of those 3 years. Finally got to where he's always wanted to get to with the Phillies here. And Rob Thompson thought with Harper and with the whole team, if they just got in, special things could happen.
Yeah, well, he's got more help than he's had, and he has less to overcome. The deficiencies of his ball clubs have been shored up. Not totally, but they've been much better for this ball club to make this kind of run right now.
A breaking pitch hit in the ground, cut off by Syndergaard. He takes it himself. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th. Today's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. And by Papa John's new Papa Pairings. Order more favorites for less. The Phillies now with Syndergaard, who can give them a few innings if they want that. It may be hard to envision them giving him more than 1 or 2 here, but they've got it set up pretty nicely, still with some good arms down there to try and finish this game.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, the whole goal is in this game was avoid Hader. Right? Hader's will be on the 9th if his team's ahead. Didn't look good early. Didn't look good much after the top of the 5th. But they responded.
And now the Padres are trying to do the same. Something they've done consistently through this postseason. No balls, 1 strike on Ha-Seong Kim. RBI single his first time tonight. He's in an 0-2 hole. And Syndergaard coming out looking really confident.
Yeah, front side is real quiet, going downhill, big frame, and he's throwing strikes. So feel like he's connected to his pitches and ready for the moment.
Well, Syndergaard in his postseason career, a 2.40 ERA. Some dominance in New York early on in his career. Kim flexes this one to the left field corner. Get off me ball, and a base hit down the line. Throws on the brakes as Schwarber throws in the ball. Back to first, but late. Kyle Schwarber on that less than perfect knee that has been bugging him for the last month or so. Hustled over there to hold Kim to a single.
That would have been costly for the Padres if he'd have got thrown out right there, but did a nice job getting the ball in, and then Kim looking back almost cost himself. This is the aggressive approach you want to see, and then once he realized the throw was coming, got to get back to the bag.
Well, the Padres holding out hope that Trent Grisham can find his power stroke again. 3 home runs over the first 2 rounds of the postseason.
Now, here's the thing that San Diego knows about Syndergaard. He does not hold runners well at all. And even with 2 outs, it wouldn't surprise me if Kim can get a great jump. It'd be tough. One of the best in the game in Realmuto even to throw out Kim.
To try and help Syndergaard, who, as you said, he gave up a major league high 30 stolen bases this year. Grisham shows bunt, takes a ball.
And you can tell he's worked on it a little bit. That was his version of a slide step. You don't see it very often anymore. Because if your pitcher can't handle making great pitches and have a fast time to plate, then you got to make the best pitch you can and deal with whatever comes on the base runner.
Sung Kim stole 12 bases in the regular season in 14 tries. Here's Grisham hitting a ball in the air to right center field. Castellanos back with room. This park just barely big enough to hold it. And hold the lead for the Phillies. Grisham just missed. Middle of the 6th inning in Game 4. The Phillies 8, the Padres 6. Jean Segura to start the 6th for the Phillies. They lead this game 8-6. It's ball 1 from Luis Garcia. Jean coming off that crazy ride in Game 3. And a game-winning hit. 2nd game-winning hit of this postseason. And of course his 1st postseason. Kyle Schwarber after the game said he's got that clutch gene. And they said, wait a minute, clutch gene. I like it. And so this is now clutch Jean Segura. Said he's been playing baseball under pressure his whole life. Fouls this one off, and it's 1-2. He said when you come from the Dominican, you're used to every game and every at-bat meaning so much. And he's always loved that kind of pressure. He's got 8 walk-off hits in the regular season in his career. He's got those 2 game-winning hits in the postseason this year. 32-year-old waiting his whole career for chances like this. Leads off this 6th with his team ahead by 2, leading the series 2-1, and he dumps this one back foul.
Sorry, I got a little jumpy on that one.
Hey, I don't blame you. Hide your Starbucks.
San Diego shook me up, I'm not going to lie.
Latest report, we never found the ball.
No, we didn't. Still bothers me, but it keeps us on our toes up here.
It does. If this series goes back to San Diego, we are searching every ceiling tile. We're looking everywhere. Takes that one low and away. Count evens 2-2. The pitch not too far off from the location that he had the game-winning hit last night. Similar location to the breaking ball down and away that he had a game-winning hit in St. Louis in the first game of this postseason March for the Phillies. A bat-to-ball ability for Gene, he says, honed as a kid, hitting plastic bottle caps with broomsticks. Checks his swing at 100, and he's worked the count full.
Well, it's rare that we've talked about all the things that needed to be done in this game as we look at this check swing, and everyone's done it. Like Machado and Soto needed to do something. Well, they did. Check that off. But the Phillies at home and their offense, check that off. It's just been a pitcher's nightmare for 2 teams that are kind of desperate to either go up 2 or be tied 2-2.
Segura down on strikes. 1 gone in the 6th inning. Tomorrow on Fox, an NFL doubleheader starts with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers taking on the Commanders or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, one of the biggest matchups of the year, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs take on the 49ers. Now have Christian McCaffrey on the squad. You can check for the games in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. There's the 9-hitter, Brandon Marsh. Strike 1.
Marsh is having a hard time catching up to the fastball. 5 Ks. They executed up. He has not stayed off of it, and he has not made the contact.
Not a fun guy to face here when you're trying to break out of his little slump. And Luis Garcia, 35-year-old in his 10th year, first 6 years spent here in Philly.
Outside.
Now with his 15 in 5 years, and he's had a great season. David Robertson getting ready. On 2-1, Marsh chops it foul, 2-2. We're talking about the Phillies offense, 11 hitting here. They've scored 29 runs in the 4 games in this park in the postseason.
Been incredible. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to love hitting at home, and they have, and especially in the postseason. I mean, this ballpark kind of tailor-made for about 4 of their sluggers. They're taking advantage of it, and that guy right there is having a day, along with Harper. Castellanos. 2 doubles for Harper, 2 homers for Hoskins. Marsh backspins the ball to right field, but routine for Soto, out number 2. Top of the order, and Kyle Schwarber, who has reached 2 more times, scored twice. Led off the first inning, which became a 3-run inning with a base hit. Led off the 5th inning with a walk. Yeah, and they scored 4. So both these teams with a 4-run inning in this game, John. They both now have 4 total in the postseason, and the rest of the teams combined have 4. I don't know that you could have predicted in the postseason there'd be that many big crooked numbers. We say crooked numbers are tough to come by. Not for these teams.
Spinner for a strike.
It's just been a wild postseason where the momentum, you could see the momentum going, and then it continues. There's that punctuation of trying to put out that 3rd out, and neither team's really been able to do that in the other team's big innings.
Ball and 1 strike on Kyle Schwarber. Garcia deals. Schwarber takes ball 2. On 2-1. In the air to center field. Way back there. Straight away and long gone. Monster shot. Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, that sign says it all right there.
Third in 6 games for Kyle Schwarber. And he has hit some glorious drives. Adding to the legend of Kyle Schwarber. 9-6 Phillies. Over the head of Hoskins. It was a breaking ball.
You just can't get better timing and feeling for a hitter.
the game for the Phillies. This man has the other two. He gets jammed. A little pop. And King slides under in snow cones. Phillies get another. They've scored 9 of the last 11 runs after they trailed 4-0 a half inning into the game. 9-6 in game 4. And back after word from your local Fox station. Home run of Kyle Schwarber's career. Wall scraper in game 3, 405, and then 429 to dead center field. And the last inning to make it 9-6. Noah Syndergaard stays in, and a strike on Austin Nola. 9-1-2 for the Padres. Again, looking to respond. Down 3, trying to even this series at a game apiece.
Yeah, this is a huge inning for the Padres based on where they are in the lineup. If Nola can get on, of course, the top of the lineup turns around, and they got a chance to do some damage and cut into the lead. But what a flip of the script.
The Padres again have not dropped back-to-back games all postseason. They fell last night 4-2. And it looked like they were going to cruise tonight. Led 4-0 after a half inning. Now down 9-6. Nola with a deep liner to center, but playable for Brandon Marsh in the first out of the 7th. So 1 away in the 7th. Back to the top for Profar.
Profar's got to find a way on. I mean, he knows who's behind him, and those two guys have delivered tonight. And Syndergaard knows he'd rather face Soto with 2 outs and nobody on.
Ball 1 on Profar. Second inning of work for Noah Syndergaard. 5th pitcher in this game for the Phillies, who are trying to become just the 4th team in postseason history to win a game where their starter doesn't get an out. Last time it happened was in the 1981 World Series. Dodgers beat the Yankees in game 4 on a day where their starter didn't get an out. Happened in 1949, happened in 1917, and the Phillies trying to do it here in game 4 of the NLCS in 2022. Bailey Falter did not get an out. Soft bouncer left side. Perfect spot for Profar to hit it, and he's there safely.
Well, any way, anyhow, to get on base now for Soto and Machado. Again, hit it off the end of the bat. Syndergaard did the best he could. Outstanding effort. Pick it up. Throw it. Just beat the throw.
Rob Thompson coming out. He's going to make a change. How to do it for Noah Syndergaard. With Juan Soto coming to the plate. A good hand for Thor. Get all your postseason gear and wear with the Champs Wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. And enjoy the thrill of the postseason with the MLB app. Get daily lineups, live pitch-by-pitch coverage, and more in our free app with over 150,000 reviews. Download the MLB app today. So it's David Robertson, John, on for the left-handed batting Juan Soto. And Robertson was actually the best guy in the Phillies' pen against left-handed hitters this year.
That's that curveball. He throws a lot of cutting fastballs, but his curveball is top to bottom break. And on the year, 115 average against that pitch.
First one to Soto is a strike on the outside corner. Soto has his first home run in the postseason. Back in the 5th inning, that gave the Padres a 6-4 lead. His 6th postseason home run before turning 24, second only to Carlos Correa. Punch to third, backhand Bohm staggers to his feet and gets the out at second. Alec Bohm gets the lead man. 2 gone in the 7th.
Wow, was that a pretty good play when you got the shift on and the angle of that ball off the bat. Very easily could have rode up the glove of Bohm. He hasn't done much offensively, but he's been stellar defensively for the most part, and he makes a great play. I'm telling you, you don't know how hard that play was based on where he was positioned and where he had to make that play and throw to second base.
I mean, when he got to his feet, his back was turned to the bag.
Yeah.
So 2 gone. Soto's on the fielder's choice. Machado's at the plate. 1-3 with a homer tonight.
And basically, if Philly does their job from this point on, they don't have to face Soto and Machado again. Right? They get the out here. They're going to need some runners on to get back to the top of the lineup for the 9th inning. So big inning for San Diego would have been to cut into that lead. 1 or 2 runs at the minimum.
Robertson's 1-1. On the ground and through. Second hit of the game for Manny Machado. And the Padres get the tying run to the plate here in the 7th.
Just between the 3rd and shortstop. And now Josh Bell, who's already hit a home run in this series, looking to try and, I mean, wouldn't this be par for the course of this game?
Yeah, it's almost like the game calls for it. You know, it wouldn't be one bit shocking if he did something big here. And exchange blows as this game has gone on really right from the start. 4 in the top of the 1st, 3 in the bottom of the 1st. 9-6 in the 7th as Bell lays off first pitch curve. Home run in this series, 2 in the postseason.
Bell is good in the top of the zone, so you don't want to see a cutter in the top of the zone or a curveball in the top of the zone against Bell.
Good pitch. Well, David Robertson missed the division series with the calf injury that he suffered during the wild card round, celebrating Bryce Harper's home run in the wild card round, and then they weren't sure what they were going to get from him. He didn't look great in San Diego in game 2 of this series. Give up 3 hits in 2/3 of an inning. But in a big spot here, tying run at the plate in the 7th. Bottom of the zone with a heater, and it's 1-2.
Well, now there's a lot that Robertson can do off of that. He can go off that height of that fastball and try to back it up with a curveball if he wants to and see if he can get Bell to chase. Bell doesn't chase a lot out of the zone.
One-two pitch. Bell swings and misses. David Robertson comes on and puts up a 0 in the 7th. We stretch in a 9-6 game.
This must be heaven.
Postseason. He's done it again. This game is tied. The Phillies take the lead. Oh, what a wild game this has been. It's like it slammed a bunch of energy drinks in the first inning. Normally you put up tie and lead change graphics in basketball games. A couple ties, but a lead change. Largest lead was 4-0 Padres, and as these teams string this thing together, 11 pitchers used. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, it's had a bit of everything, and it's testing the managers and really the patience of what they've got to do and who they're going to use. Well, when your team comes back, like this home field has been just magical for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The fans have been pretty spoiled, but they have treated the home team to some incredible energy.
29 runs in the 4 home games for Bryce Harper and these Phillies. They are 6 outs away, finding themselves a win away from a trip to the World Series. On for the Padres is Steven Wilson. He's pitched in 3 games in this postseason, given up 1 run. He was a key component during the regular year. And in this one, he's the 5th pitcher used by Bob Melvin. JT Realmuto chases the first one from Wilson.
Well, no hits for JT, but he's scored 2 runs because he's had a couple walks, and his teammates have put him around the bases in those 2 walks.
Harper and Castellanos to follow. Well, it's a strike and it's 0-2. Well, you said it off of the top, John, that in a bullpen game like this, whoever gets more outs is going to be at an advantage. Nobody got any outs.
Yeah.
Bailey Falter didn't get out of the first inning. Mike Clevenger didn't get a single out. And so both these teams have had to chase their tails in this bullpen game. Already going to be doing that a little bit. Realmuto turns on a ball. Kiss it goodbye. 10 runs for the Phils. For the Phillies tonight, all coming from the top 3 in the lineup.
Boy, the top 3 came here to play tonight, and at 2 strikes, a lot of damage has been done with 2 strikes. That typically pitchers have not made enough pitches to some good offense. Look, Philly had an offensive advantage coming into this series, and they're flexing some of that advantage right now. In the length of their lineup, the ability to hit for power, much more evident in Philadelphia's lineup than it is in San Diego's. But I'm just telling you, this game has been a roller coaster of swings.
Seriously, it's like it stole a couple from your stash of energy drinks and just started pounding them. It hasn't stopped.
No, and you could feel like in that first inning, and there's that hanging breaking ball. In that first inning, this crowd was quiet, and right away they got back in it. And they haven't been out of it since. There has been no point, even a 2-run homer that put the San Diego Padres up by 2 right very next inning.
Harper fouls it back, and it's 0-2. You know, bullpen games always bring a little bit of chaos into the fold. Look at this shot. What a great view for the Fanatic. I mean, that could be like on the media guide cover, that shot. I'm told Kenny's got him after the batter. Now, does Kenny have JT Realmuto, or does he have the Philly Fanatic?
Let's hope he's got the Fanatic. No, he's probably got JT.
Yeah, I think the Fanatic gets him. It's a bouncing ball to first. And Harper's the first out of the inning. Pretty sure Kenny's got the player, not the mascot.
Thanks, Joe. JT, you guys were down 4-0 in the first. How did you come back?
Just persistent at bats. You know, they did the same thing to us in game 2. We got out to a 4-0 lead, and they came back on us. And as soon as we got down 4-0, we got back in the dugout, and we just kind of regrouped as a team. And we said, there's a lot of ball game left. We're going to score runs today. And we just never lost that confidence.
How would you describe the performance of your bullpen?
It's been great so far. You know, they've given up a few more runs than we'd like, but they've thrown the ball well. They've attacked the strike zone. They got really good hitters over there in that lineup, so it's tough to keep them down. But they've thrown the ball well. We got to get 6 more outs here.
JT, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ken.
4 home runs in this game, 10 runs for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos has 2 hits of his own. 10 runs on 10 hits total. Strike one from Wilson.
You know, when you sum up the theme of the last couple games and really this series, it's been 2 out runs and 2 strikes. you got to make pitches and you got to get the third out, right? Some of those 2-out rallies were happening with first and second, nobody out. And some of the biggest hits came with 0-2, 1-2, 3-2, 2 strikes where the pitcher has the advantage.
Straight up. Who wants it? The catcher, Nola. 2 away in the 7th inning. And tonight's telecast is sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by the way, thanks to the teams and to the players for visiting with us mid-game.
Not easy, and they've all been accommodating.
Gives us another window for what they're doing. Great work by Kenny and Tom getting those interviews. 10-6 game in the 7th. Alec Boehm's had a tough night. He struck out all 3 times. Swings and misses here.
Strike 2. May not seem like a lot, but the Phillies alone have 4 2-strike hits, but 2 of those are homers.
After they had 6 2-out hits last night.
Yeah.
And as a pitcher, those just kill you.
Oh, they do. I mean, and again, that happens. They get magnified, you know. Again, to reiterate the obvious, 2 outs, nobody on, you walk a guy or give up a hit, it's a rally. That is not a rally in the regular season. It's not even close. First and second's not a rally in the regular season. Fans don't stand up all game in the regular season. All of these details your mind thinks about and you're trying to execute when everyone's watching. We've seen a lot of these too. 0-2, 2-2, the 3-2. You just battle, and you make it as hard as possible on the other team to execute the simpler things that in the regular season you execute on.
Wilson home with a 2-2. Bohm fouls it off, stays alive. Yeah, so 10 2-strike hits for the Phillies over the last 2 games. The league average in the postseason with 2 strikes is 139.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, that's where the hitter doesn't always want to be and hasn't changed their approach when they get to 2 strikes.
Bohm chops one to third for Manny Machado. That'll do it for the Phillies in the 7th, but a leadoff home run from JT Realmuto with a Philly fanatic right there in the background having a good time. 45,000 of his closest friends here at Citizens Bank Park. 10-6 game to the 8th. Gone from down 4-0 to ahead 10-6. You know, prior to this series, as Edmundo Sosa comes into the game in 3rd place, replacing Alec Bohm. Prior to this series, John, there had never been a league championship series game where both teams had led by 4 runs in the game. There have been 2 of them in the first 4 games of this series.
These 2 teams,
I'll tell you what. Strike on Jake Cronenworth.
You have to have something special inside your clubhouse to get to this point from the journey of which they started the postseason, right? You got to have an inner belief. You got to have an inner confidence in guys because both of them did the unthinkable. I mean, they got here beating teams they weren't in theory supposed to beat because they used resources in the first series to get to the 2 best teams in baseball. So then in theory, and time will show that, those 2 teams should have an advantage.
That's just foul.
But what we've seen is these 2 teams have believed in themselves, and why not us, right? Get in the postseason, why not us? They're not playing with the attitude like we got nothing to lose. They're playing with the attitude that we're better than whoever we're playing, on that given series.
87-win Phillies, 89-win Padres. Last two teams in the field. Phillies took down two division champions, including the reigning world champion Braves. Padres took down two 100-win teams, the Mets and the Dodgers. Cronenworth down on strikes. There's that curve from Robertson. And now a quick word from DraftKings.
This postseason, bet $5, win 200 in free bets if your team wins. Download the app and get in on the action.
And let's not forget, the guy that's on the mound is not really maybe supposed to be here. He had an injury celebrating one of those victories, and he's come back quicker than they thought, and now he's playing a huge role.
Yep. And it's going to be interesting, too, John, to see, is Rob Thompson able to stay away from his big three here with this 4-run lead? Of course, in the postseason, 4-run lead, a lot different than a 4-run lead in the regular season and how you try to protect it. But Alvarado and Dominguez, both of who, in a perfect world, he stays away from, given how much they pitched last night. Zach Eflin, love to stay away from him, too. The only other guy down there is Kyle Gibson. Can he get these last 5 outs between Robertson and Gibson and have the big three set up behind Zach Wheeler for what at this point looks like could be a chance to clinch a trip to the World Series? 0-2 on Brandon Drury. It's Adrian Morejon in the Padres bullpen. In the dirt and draws the swing. Back-to-back Ks from Robertson to open the 8th. Game 5 of this series is tomorrow. Coverage starts at 1:30 Eastern on FS1. It'll be Zach Wheeler against Yu Darvish. And then Game 4 between the Astros and the Yankees over on TBS. 2 games with the teams perhaps looking at a chance to clinch the series.
Could be, and if Philly is able to hold on to this game, can you imagine the volume and pitch that the crowd is going to have, knowing that if they win that game tomorrow? I mean, this crowd has been. San Diego is the same way. It's not.
Kim up the middle. Stott on a bounce from short center field. Heck of a play by Bryson Stott. Some help from Rhys Hoskins on the back end. Everybody chipping in for the Phillies in Game 4. Bryson Stott leads off this 8th inning for the Phillies. They lead the game 10-6. They face Adrian Morejon, who's into the series for the first time. Phillies trying to take a 3-1 series lead. And set Zach Wheeler up with a chance to pitch him to a pennant tomorrow. No balls, 2 strikes.
High fastball percentage, followed by his slider and then curveball.
John, in a bullpen game such as this, it can be tough on the hitters, like we talked about, because everybody that comes out is a different look for you. But the other thing is, you just don't know. Every time that door opens, is the guy going to have it on a given night? And over the first 10 games of the postseason, the Padres bullpen gave up 7 runs. They gave up 7 runs tonight.
Well, and it puts people in just tough positions. You'd think just coming into the game and pitching would be one thing, but it's not a formula for success. It's a formula for necessity, and you're hoping that you can balance that when you're given the situation. I know a lot of people think, well, it's just going to be hard to hit if we throw 7, 8 different pitchers at you. Well, good luck if everybody's doing their thing. That's just not the norm. And so tonight, a little unnormal, a little unpredictable, and we've seen that play out.
Not down swinging, one gone in this 8th. He saw Zach Eflin getting loose. Looks like he's going to handle the 9th for the Phils. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Verizon, the network America relies on. You know, the Phillies, month into the season, were 14-17. They hit a West Coast road trip. They'd been very boom or bust at that point, and would stay that way for a lot of the year. But they go to Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers at that point already established as the favorite in the National League. And they take the first 3 games from the Dodgers. And the offense at that point, as Segura adds another base hit into right center field, started to turn some heads. They scored 29 runs, beating the Dodgers in 3 straight games at Dodger Stadium. And some eyes started to open. I was like, man, oh man, they're probably not going to make the postseason. But if they did, that's scary. That kind of lineup can be scary. A few weeks later, Joe Girardi gets let go with the team 22-29. They win 8 in a row under Rob Thompson. They win 14 of 16 to begin Rob Thompson's tenure. That offense continues to be boom or bust, but continues to make you think, if only, what if they got in? And you combine that offense with the big 2 in the rotation. Towards the end of the year, those 2 things with a bullpen that's gelled. And this is what you get. Brandon Marsh sends one in the air to center field. Grisham retreats. On the track, he's got it. Back to first goes Segura. 2 gone in this 8th inning. One more trip up there for Kyle Schwarber, who's got one of the 4 home runs in this game, one of his 3 home runs in this series. That included the longest one of his career against Yu Darvish in Game 1. It includes a leadoff shot last night, and then this skyscraper to center field back in the 6th inning.
Really a different guy. Made a mechanical adjustment, put the time in, looked lost. Now he looks like Kyle Schwarber.
#12 postseason home run for Schwarber in his 7 trips.
.212 doesn't tell the story.
Nope.
He's 0 for 16, right, at one point?
Yeah. 0 for 16 over the last 6 games, an on-base percentage of almost .600 to go along with the power. And it's the same idea during the regular season. His average was right around there, but he led the National League in homers. Had a passable on-base percentage because he was still getting aboard with a bunch of walks. He also struck out more than anybody in the National League. But all in all, a successful first year in Philadelphia for Schwarber. Solidifying that, coming to life here in the postseason after that slow start. Schwarber's scored 3 times tonight. All 10 runs for the Phillies have come from the top 5 in their lineup. On this 2-1 pitch, Schwarber skies it down the left field line. Machado angles over into foul ground. Manny Machado running attempts. He held on. What a catch by Machado over the tarp for the final out of the 8th.
This guy's unreal. That's a great catch, knowing what he was getting ready to run into.
Zach Eflin for the 9th inning. 17 pitches in a scoreless 6th inning last night. The 7th and the Phillies' hope final pitcher of Game 4. Strike 1 on Trent Grisham.
Well, Grisham started this postseason with a bang. 8 for his first 20. Unfortunately, now he's 0 for his last 15.
With 8 Ks. Strike 2. Matt Vierling, per usual, late game substitution in left field for Kyle Schwarber. 1-2. This place is going to be revved up tomorrow. The unthinkable. The Phillies on the verge of the World Series. This Phillies team this year. And now a quick word from Corona. It's 2-2. It was the largest payroll in franchise history. Phillies went over the luxury tax limit. And several of those big ticket players have shown up in this series. All those moves they've made really starting to pay off. Big fly into left field for Matt Vierling. And transition struggles continue. He's the first out of the 9th inning. Well, the owner, John Middleton, famously said a couple years ago, "I want my bleeping trophy back." And he's continued to put his money where his mouth is. Go out and get big ticket players, and they had their stars. Then Dave Dombrowski comes, and Dombrowski's rounded out the edges of the roster. He's added depth. There's some very under-the-radar key pickups at the deadline that have supplemented this roster and played key roles in this postseason. So he inherited some of the big stars, but he's helped round this roster out. And has a chance to get his 4th different organization to the World Series.
That's pretty credible. I mean, that in and of itself.
Quickly 0-2 on Nola.
You won't know if it's up 8, down 8 with Eflin. I mean, he's stoic, and his heartbeat looks like he's kind of enjoying this part of the role.
2 up and 2 down for Eflin in the 9th. Rob Thompson said he sometimes wonders if he has one.
Well, that's okay. That's a good thing, especially in these moments. You know, he came in Atlanta in the very first game and gave up that 2-out, 3-run homer, but it didn't look like it bothered him. They won by 1.
This game, in a lot of ways, John, kind of a snapshot of the Phillies season. There was no way the Phillies came out on top at the end of the year. Well, here they are. There was no way the Phillies won this game after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. A bullpen game lined up for them. And yet here they are. 10-6 on the verge of a 3-1 series advantage. 1-0 to Jerks in profile.
Well, you know what grows old in the regular season is when you lose a lot of those games late. It sucks the life out of your club. Your offense can't keep overcoming those deficiencies. They shored those up. They started to win some of those games. Their offense didn't have to score as much because of the starting pitching.
Nope.
And now in the postseason, bullpen's been pretty good. Starters have been great. Offense can't be much better at home.
Well, if you throw tonight aside, you can't do that statistically officially, but the starting rotation, even with Nola giving up the 6 runs in game 2, has a 2.25 ERA. The bullpen has locked things down beyond there, and would you believe it, the Philadelphia Phillies are a win away from a National League pennant. They win game 4 with the largest comeback in franchise history in the postseason, matching the 2010 Division Series and the 1980 World Series from down 4-0 in the first inning to take this topsy-turvy ride of a game 4, 10-6.
Well, that's the key. It was the first inning. They haven't even come to the plate, so they knew they had 27 outs. If they'd have been 4 down after 5 or 6, that's a bigger hill to climb. And they definitely right away jumped back into the fray with scoring those 3. And that really, to me, that was the game for the San Diego Padres and for Philly. That turned that quick when Philly scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first.
Defaulter gives up those 4 runs and then 6 relievers combined to give up just 2. And that's without using their top 2 guys in Alvarado and Dominguez. So they're all set up tomorrow. They got it aligned just how they'd like it. Their guy Zach Wheeler going. Their top relievers with a day of rest available to try and shut it down. They hit 4 home runs. They win 10-6. The Phillies with a 3-1 series lead over the Padres in this National League Championship Series. We've got plenty more coverage coming from Philadelphia. Taking a break. On the other side, Matt Vasgersian and the guys with the postgame show.